much of him or hear much of him, but he will show you tonight very, very capable. So East Carolina kicks it off to Miami. Into the wind. It is going to come down to Benton at the 7-yard line. Trent Jones, I beg your pardon, 25, 30, 35, and out to the 37-yard line. 20 yards on the return, and here are the starters for Miami tonight. Clement at quarterback, Danielle Ferguson and Carlo Joseph in the backfield. The wide receivers, this is a very talented group, and they go 60. Chris Jones, Yatil Green, and Magic Benton. And up front, the offensive line, this is a very talented and experienced group. Blaze and Ina are the tackles. Mercier and Weiner are the guards. And in the middle, there's the guy that anchors him, K.C. Jones, the veteran from Midland, Texas. Going to throw on first down. Gets it to his tight end. That's Daphnis, and he will take it close to midfield. As we look at the starters for East Carolina, Corbett, Darden, and West, the 3 down linemen. The linebackers, they're going to be very busy tonight. You'll see an 8-man front from Paul Jett's team many times. Coleman, Brown, Burke, and B.J. Crane gets the outside start on the right. And in the secondary, Suggs and Foster, those 2 corners are going to be tested tonight. And it is Darren Hart and David Hart. Hart to Hart, the safeties, twins, of course. 13 yards on that first play. It out to Danielle Ferguson, trying to get the ball outside. They'll go across midfield, and it's Marvin Burke from the middle.
Ron, when you come out of a game like the Florida State game, which is so emotional ball game, you want to make sure your first drive is going to be an important drive as you look at Ryan Clement's numbers.
1 yard, 2nd down and 9, 49.
First drive, you want to make sure you set the tempo for the whole game. What he's arguing about is he thought there was offsides on the play of East Carolina. It wasn't called.
Daphnis in motion. 3-step drop this time. Good job defensively. Ball has gotten away. It is complete to Ferguson. And let's check in and get an update with Mike Tirico. What do you got from the Desert Country, Mike?
Well, Ron, we told you Arizona State was driving. This McDonald's breakaway takes us to Sun Devil Stadium. Terry Battle runs a 32 and 17. And now a 7-yard touchdown run. Add the extra point. Final 85 seconds. We are tied. Maybe OT again today.
Well, you got to like the spirit of that ball club, Mike. They've had 3 opportunities already to fold it up, and they just won't do it. 3rd down situation. Miami needs to take it to the East Carolina 40-yard line. 3rd down conversions this year, almost 50%. Flag goes down late. Pass is complete, and that is Yatil Green. Steps out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. And now let's see, I think the marker is going to be offsides against East Carolina.
Gain is 14 yards.
Offsides. Defense. Penalties decline. First out.
Now the reason that they don't take the penalty, they gain 14 yards in the play. Randy Sims and Conference USA, all of the officials tonight. Clement signals to the bench. Let's get everybody in here and give me the play. Let's move it down the field. Mike, very important, like you said, to get something really positive out of this first drive, to know that they're on focus that they should be.
And the thing you want to do is put the last game behind you by putting an exclamation point on here. It's a new day, a new game.
Daphnis again in motion. Clement lobs it, got a man. Complete at the 5, touchdown Jermaine Chambers. 34 yards, and if there's any question about whether Miami who is set to play East Carolina, not looking ahead or not looking back to last week. I don't think there's much question right now.
You could tell in practice Thursday that they practiced hard and the coaches got their attention. Good pass protection on that last play for the touchdown.
High pass, and the kick is going to be wide. I'm not sure if they got a piece of that or not. Crossland with the extra point, and Coach Davis is not real happy with the special teams. 6-0. One more look at Jermaine Chambers. Hurricanes on top, 6-0.
All right, gentlemen. Tomorrow, your butts are mine. Lights up.
See the Hart twins talking over on the sideline because it was David who got caught up in the situation. As Mabry and Matheson are back deep. Matheson. 30, 35. Still loose, and the kicker has to help out on the tackle. Gaitan. Great return.
Jermaine Chambers is going to run a post route here. The other receiver, they've got a two-man route for Miami right here with great protection for Ryan Clement. But watch Jermaine Chambers just run past the defensive backs. David Hart just missed the coverage. There you got the touchdown. Now, they were expecting a blitz, so you've got 8 people in the block, so you're going to get good protection. And that really is what made the play because there's no pressure on the quarterback, Ryan Clement.
40 yards on the return, so excellent field position for East Carolina. Crandall to throw on first down, and he hits his man right over the middle. That's Galloway. Inside the 30-yard line, and this game is taken off like the Derby. Let's take a look at the starters. Crandall at quarterback. Galloway, who just caught the pass in the back. He's actually an H-back, and Scott Harley is the fullback. The wide receivers, good group. Now, Scott Richards at tight end, you'll see him a lot tonight. Shannon and Nichols, the 2 wideouts. And up front, the offensive line, these 2 tackles have got their hands full tonight. And Gray and Sutton. Burns, McPherson at the guards, and Danny Moore is the center. 29 yards in the first play from scrimmage. Harley wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, and it's James Burgess, one of the emotional leaders. Speaking of emotional leaders, Lang and Holmes on the outside, and boy, they can create all kinds of havoc. Lawson and Fortney, the defensive tackles. The linebackers, Twan Russell, he probably is the emotional leader, but Burgess just made the stop, and Coley, that's a good active group. And in the secondary, Ridgely and Tremaine Mack at a start tonight. Starks the other corner, and Marcus Wimberly at the other safety. Pressure from behind, throws it complete at the 14-yard line. Scott Richards, he had 6 catches last week in that ball game against Southern Mississippi.
Marcus Crandall has a gun. He has a very strong arm. You see the 3 interceptions and the 2 losses that they've had. That's what Miami has to force them into tonight, Ron, to make some bad throws into coverage. East Carolina on the other side has to move Marcus Crandall around because of Kenny Holmes and Kennard Lang, 2 strong defensive ends.
There's Holmes right there, working against Jamie Gray, senior out of Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Right up the middle. Hart at the 10, at the 9, at the 8. Twan Russell is holding on to him. Also Burgess. And I'll tell you right now, that offensive front for East Carolina, if they can get running plays like that, Mike, we're going to have an interesting night.
Well, the concern that East Carolina has is whether they can run the football in. Scott Harley is an excellent running back, but they've had problems running the ball in the end zone. They may have to try a play-action pass to try to get it in, but they've had success here early running.
Scott Richards, number 90, the tight end, lined up at fullback, but now you see him move to the left side. Short drop. Incomplete. It's Larry Shannon, the junior out of Stark, Florida, who's one of the Biletnikoff candidates this year, and he was covered by Eugene Ridgely.
When you're a one-back offensive football team, Ron, you don't have the lead blocker. So I would expect right now Marcus Crandall is going to be the center of this play, some type of rollout to get him on the corner, or a run-pass option for Steve Logan.
Normally with a one-back team, Mike, they throw the ball a lot more inside the red zone, and that's what East Carolina does, don't they?
Yeah, without a doubt. They've got the tight end lined up at fullback here.
Last time they did the same thing, but they shifted him out of it. They don't this time. He stays into block, and the pass almost intercepted. Earl Little was closer to the ball than the receiver, who was Linwood DeBrew.
See, that's a problem you have when they do not have the speed running back that they've had in the past here. More of a running game that's a power running game. Marcus Crandall almost made a big mistake here and threw an interception. Earl Little didn't judge it out there for the pick.
25-yard attempt by Holcomb. 3 of 6 this year, his longest 47. High pass, gets it down, and he got it. And there is a flag at the line of scrimmage. Let's check it.
Well, that almost looked like the center moved the ball or something, because so many Miami's going to be called for offsides, it looked like, but the whole group of Miami players came off.
Mike, they may take the points off the board. That's going to be a first down. Offside against Miami. Some of the East Carolina kids were signaling, hey, it's good. And Steve said, no, we're going to take the first down.
Well, they'll have a measure it to make sure. Lined up offside.
Sure did. It looks like Tremaine Mack, who is their expert at blocking kicks. Miami took the ball, went right down the field. Punnett was just red hot. Hit 5 of 5. Miami scored, missed the extra point, and now East Carolina, with the penalty, will have a 1st and goal at the 4.
First out.
Now let's see if they go to Scott Harley here, Ron. They're in a little closer inside the 4-yard line. Scott Harley ran for 291 yards and 41 attempts versus South Carolina. So let's see if they put the ball in number 44's hands.
Averaging 142 yards a ball game, muscles his way forward. You can see Burgess, one of the men at the top of the stack. Also, Kenny Holmes is down there.
You see the struggle that they're having running the ball. So I think right now in 2nd down, I'd come right back with a play-action pass with Marcus Crandall. Fake the run, get him on the corner and see what happens.
Chappell comes into the lineup. He's a sophomore out of Roxborough, North Carolina, number 87. The other guy you can look for is number 90 there. Scott Richards. Running play. Harley at the 2, at the 1. Not going to punch it in. Twan Russell and Burgess combined on the stop, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Tackled by Twan Russell and Marcus Crandall.
As we mentioned, 142 yards a ball game. That is good for 6th in the NCAA standings. And he's not a speed back.
No.
He's like a 4.7, maybe 4.8 guy, but very competent.
He's a power running back all the way.
3rd down, East Carolina. You can see how close they are. Harley again, touchdown, East Carolina. Credit Alfonso Collins with one of the good blocks up front.
Two special teams errors by Miami. First of all, the big kickoff return by East Carolina, which gave them great field position. Then the offsides on the field goal. So 2 mistakes on the special teams for Miami.
Jamie Gray, one of the leaders on that offensive line. 6'2", 293, getting congratulated by the coaches as he goes to the bench. As Holcomb tries to break the tie with the extra point. Good pass, and it's good. So East Carolina goes on top, 7-6, 9-12 left to play in this opening quarter. As you look at Harley over the top and on the board.
Definitely connect my love of nature with the work that I've done. This is a polyester bottle. There's 30 billion pounds of polyester plastic produced in the world each year. Most of that has to be disposed of. DuPont has developed technology that allows us to recycle endlessly. It actually zips the molecule. This soda bottle, perhaps it will become the shirt that I'm wearing, or videotape, curtains, film, carpeting, fabric, audio tape. It's evergreen. The cycle can continue on and on and on.
It begins with a step away from the known and a step towards the unknown. It will take you to ports halfway around the world and into uncharted waters deep inside yourself. Above all, it will demand your honor, your courage, and your commitment. It's your journey. Start it in the right direction.
To do it, and I'll tell you, the offensive line did a nice job for East Carolina. But as Mike pointed out, they got great field position off that kick return. So a mistake by Miami on the special teams. Bradley Rivers to kick it off for the Pirates. Magic Benton going to take it to the 22-yard line. Well, next Saturday, ESPN is the place to be at 12:30. Curtis Enos, at number 10, Penn State, try to run through the Indiana Hoosiers. Then at 7 o'clock, a big East showdown. Miami goes up against West Virginia in Morgantown. But first, start the college game day at 11:30 and the Residence Inn scoreboard show at 3:30 and also at 10. Some of the crowd here tonight. I tell you, 48 hours ago, we had no idea we were going to have this kind of weather because that hurricane was still lurking in the Gulf. As Ferguson is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage and knocked down for a loss, and Carlos Brown, a senior out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, is there to make the stop.
Good defensive play by East Carolina. Again, crowding the line of scrimmage with 5 people at the line of scrimmage. Linebackers taking on the fullback on the last play. Carlos Brown right in the backfield to make that tackle.
Interesting what Paul Jett has done. He used to be a 4-3 guy, but now he's changed his philosophy a little bit, hasn't he? Defensive coordinator, that is, for East Carolina. Clement deep in the pocket, sings it. He's still perfect on the night. Yatil Green this time. Out to the 40-yard line. Kelvin Suggs will make the stop on him.
This is the matchup that I think favors Miami the most. The wide receivers of Miami versus the defensive backs. And when you have a quarterback that's improved like Ryan Clement, last year he came on the scene, wasn't sure he was going to be the quarterback. Yet Scott Covington pushing him finally against Boston College. He won a game in the last 49 seconds, felt the job was finally his.
About to go under 8 minutes in this opening quarter. Daphnis in motion. You can see the collision in the backfield. And Ferguson's going to wind up with a gain of almost 5 yards in the play before Darren Hart puts a stop on him.
Stopped by Darren Hart. Gain is 5.
What I was talking about, Ron, when you look at his 1995 statistics, he had those 8 starts, and what he did, 3 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and see how he's turned it around this year. He's a leader, and he probably played his best passing game against Florida State in that loss last week.
Again from the eye, Ferguson puts a head down. That's enough for the Miami first down. You know, Mike, he told me on the practice field on Thursday afternoon, Clement, that another reason that he is playing with so much more confidence and thinks he has totally grasped the system is that guy number 63 that he takes the snap on. Casey Jones is his best friend. He said he helps me out so much. He not only makes the line calls, but he said, how can you not have confidence when you got a guy like that to help advise you in the huddle and anything else that you need? Jones has been a real savior for him.
No doubt. And Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, says the difference in Ryan Clement and the other quarterbacks is he's on a mission to beat people. Great leader.
There's Magic Benton in motion. Again with the run, Ferguson. And he will pick up 3. Let's check in quickly with Mike Tirico. Mike, what do you have?
Well, we've got the USC game here in this McDonald's breakaway against Arizona State, tied at 28 in overtime. Despite a holding penalty that gave him 1st and 23, SC moves it down the field. Brad Otten, 10 yards to Rodney Sherman's Arizona State ball. They must score and get the point to send it to a second OT.
Well, the Trojans keep the pressure on. Fun game out on in the desert in Tempe tonight. Our score 7-6, East Carolina, and we have just over 6 to play in this first period. Clement. This is a coverage sack here. That is a nice job by East Carolina secondary. Just had nowhere to go, and Corbett will get him.
Ron, you're exactly right. There was no place to go, and the wide receivers did not come back to Ryan Clement. Mondell Corbett, number 78, was putting pressure on. You're going to see Ryan Clement come out After taking the snap, a little quick fake, he was trying to throw just a quick pass. Now all of a sudden, there's nothing open. He can't throw across his body. None of the receivers came back to the ball. Ryan Clement takes the sack.
So it's going to be 3rd down, and Miami needs the East Carolina 39-yard line to keep this drive going. Blitz right up the middle. Clement's pass is caught at the 36-yard line. That's good for the first down by Magic Benton. David Hart made the stop.
Ron, it's such a mismatch. The wide receivers of Miami versus the East Carolina defensive backs. They've got so much respect for the speed of the Miami receivers. They're given so much, a big cushion in the secondary. Magic Benton was just wide open in front of David Hart.
He did a good job of catching that ball, too. It was up just a bit. As Clement is now 7 of 7 on the night. Wow, what a start. Daphnis in motion again. Ferguson with the sweep. Gets by one tackler. Didn't wrap up on him, and it cost him 3 more yards as Marvin Burke will finally wrap him up and bring him down, but he's at the 27.
Well, Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, likes Danielle Ferguson, calls him his secretariat because he just feels like he can do so much. 21 touchdowns here at Miami in his career. Outstanding running back. He's got size, runs the ball strong. It looks like Miami's trying to get him outside with this little power scheme. Little bounce, sprint draw, bouncing it outside.
They got 3 real good ones at tailback. Besides Ferguson, Dyrell McMillan and Trent Jones. Also very good-looking youngsters. But Ferguson this time as a flag comes down, and Ferguson's going to have the first down. And let's check down on the sideline with Kellen Winslow. Kellen?
Well, Ron and Mike, just want to put a footnote on the Danielle Ferguson conversation. Last week against FSU was not his best ball game. FSU came in and really stuck it to him. Of course, he had great games against the Citadel and against Rutgers. In FSU, he looked kind of slow. Maybe that could have been because FSU game, the defense looked very fast.
Well, one thing in that ball game, Kellen, he had 5 runs, I believe, over 12 yards that were called back for penalties. So he lost those 60 yards in penalties by his own offensive football team.
And in fact, that has just happened right here. He had picked up good yardage, and the penalty is going to take it back to the 32. As Butch is working over that linesman right there in front of him.
This is an entire Conference USA crew. So
right.
Again, Butch Davis doesn't know these officials, so he's trying to get his little words in here early in the ball game.
K.C. Jones out over the football. 7-6. East Carolina leads. Just over 4 to play. Opening quarter from the Orange Bowl. Run it. Nobody open. Going to run it. At the 30, tries to cut it upfield. And boy, there's a flag now. 2 flag. That's going to be a clip against Miami, I believe. Somebody trying to come back and help Clement. And you could see as he went leaping, Crane got him, but he took a pretty good shot.
Jermaine Chambers, number 80, just came back and just made a very foolish mistake.
Mike, I talk about he went leaping and he came down on that shoulder. And that does not look good at all, as Scott Covington is going to have to come into the ball game. Clement with a start, 7 of 7. And Covington, who was a sophomore out of California, is going to come into the lineup.
Ron, if you ever had a backup that's very capable, it's this young guy, Scott Covington, right here. Here's going to be the block by Jermaine Chambers. Just very foolish to make that clip. Forrest Foster, number 37. There's the hit on Ryan Clement.
And you could see Crane as he went through the air. Crane was on him, so he not only had his weight, but Crane's weight on his back as he came down on the shoulder. Covington on first down. Flag is down, and let's check in quickly with Mike Tirico. Mike, what do you have?
All right, Ron, this McDonald's breakaway back to Sun Devil Stadium, Arizona State. Boom, 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 down the field. 4 plays. Plummer to Poole, touchdown. We're tied at 35. Go to the second overtime. Remember now the ball first starts with Arizona State. We'll keep you updated. Guys?
Okay, thanks, Mike. 35 apiece. We'll get you a report just as quickly as we can, but it is obvious what they're doing. They are checking over Clement's shoulder. And either they're going to move him further down the bench or they're going to take him to the locker room, Mike.
I think they're going to take him in. Ron, Scott Covington, very, very capable. of leading this Miami football team tonight. There's not much of a drop-off. Ryan Clement may have the edge in the leadership and experience. But Scott Covington could play for a lot of Division I football teams around the country.
Kellen is in fast pursuit of Clement and the doctors, and he'll let us know just as soon as we can exactly the extent of the injury to Ryan Clement, the quarterback for Miami. So now it is really incumbent upon that guy, Casey Jones, and those other veterans up front to come together and help an inexperienced Scott Covington. Running play, not much there. And let's go down. Kellen, what do you have for us?
Ryan Clement sprained his left shoulder. They're going to take him in, take off his pass, and check him out thoroughly. When I asked the doctor if he was coming back, Ryan Clement said, yeah, he'll be back. He will be back.
Okay. All right. Great hustle there, Kellen. Appreciate it.
Kellen needs some water now after that run there. He was sprinting down the sideline.
It's a humid night. 2nd down and 10. And if you have just joined us, just over 3 to play, first period. The Pirates of East Carolina 7-6 over Miami. And the Hurricanes are driving with the ball at the 28. Covington. Incomplete, little low in the pass to Magic Benton.
3rd down and 10, 28.
Look at the quarterback. The backup quarterback doesn't get a lot of repetitions in practice. That's why your first team gets most of the repetitions. Your second team quarterback has to do a lot by watching tape and being ready for this opportunity. You're always one hit away from being in the ball game.
So it's 3rd down. They need 10. That was the first incomplete pass a moment ago, and this one is too high to Yatil Green. Had him semi-open, but that one just kind of sailed on him. Tabari Wallace had to cover on the play.
What you'll see in Scott Covington, I believe, Ron, is he'll settle down. His first series out there, a little nervous. All of a sudden, you're sitting on the bench. You're cold. You've got to go out there and throw a couple passes. He needs to get on the sideline, loosen up a little bit. You'll see a pretty good quarterback before this ball game's over.
Crossland, perfect on the year, his longest 50. And this one is going to be from 46 yards. Good placement, plenty of distance, and he just missed. Wide to the right. So the faithful from East Carolina who have come down here are up and cheering. They're on top.
Now, when you subscribe to the Rocky Mountain News, you'll also help reforest Colorado's damaged woodlands. Buy 6 months, get 6 months free, and we'll plant a tree in your name. For current and new subscribers, call 1-800-892-NEWS for details. The Rocky Mountain News. If you live here, you get it.
Whoever you are, whatever you need, we're here for you every day of your life. FHP, your health partner for life.
Athletes abusing reporters is getting way out of hand, and we at SportsCenter have gotten to the point where we have just got to be ready to fight back.
The most effective defensive weapon would be your microphone. Always be aware of your surroundings. Say you're on the sidelines. Take any weapon that happens to be handy. Suppose an athlete decides to attack your cameraman. What would you do?
Knock it off.
No. Let me show you. You have to be very careful not to hit the camera.
Well, East Carolina, so far in this ballgame, offensively and defensively, have matched what the Hurricanes have thrown at them. And the difference in the ballgame is 2 missed kicks. A missed extra point and now a missed 46-yard field goal by Miami. Steve Logan, he wanted to make sure that his team showed up tonight, and they have done just that. incomplete. Shannon knocked out of bounds right in front of the bench. And let's go back to Mike Tirico. Well, what do you have on Desert Storm 2?
Well, in the second overtime, Ron, a Terry Battle 25-yard touchdown made it 42-35. And this McDonald's breakaway takes us to USC. Trying to drive. They have to score to get the win. Otten tries a shovel pass. It was incorrectly called a fumble. Taken back by Courtney Jackson the distance. They don't have to try the extra point. It is a touchdown. ASU wins by 13.
So the number 4 team in the nation holds on with some heroics in Tempe. Harley breaks it open to the 45 and now the 47-yard line, and Tremaine Mack had to put the stop on him. And Mike, we're talking about he's only a 4.7, maybe a 4.8 guy, but he shows right there he's quick and good.
Well, he's got some speed, but again, he's a power runner that had those 291 yards in a rainstorm versus South Carolina. Just breaks up the middle, but that's good blocking by the offensive line. He had 10 runs over 13 yards against South Carolina in that rainstorm.
As Steve said last night, he is a mutter. 97, Michael Lawson came across. He's trying to say that Danny Moore moved the football, and we'll see if the officials concur on that.
We talked about the mental attitude of this ball game. Getting a little sloppy for Miami right now. 2 missed kicks.
Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
When you know your team lacks concentrations, when you start having penalties, you start making mistakes in the kicking game, you know, that it becomes a little sloppy, and that's what Butch Davis is going to try to do on the sideline, is get the attention of his football team.
You know, you talked about in the cut-in we did for SportsCenter also. This week was so choppy. On Thursday when we came down to watch practice, they only had one field, the AstroTurf field, that they could work on. That's only 60 yards, so the defense came out first. Then the offense had to come out after them. They have not had a lot of work outdoors this week. Harley again, counter play, and he'll be close to the 45. Marvin Davis is holding on to him, and let's check in again with Keller.
Well, Ron and Mike, you talk about Harley, the running back, and his lack of speed. No, he has a good burst to the line, but take a look at this stat here. For the season, he between 0 and 6 yards, 81 times he's gone there. Between 13+ yards, only 14 times, showing that lack of breakaway speed.
But efficiency is the name of the game, and he is just that. Close to the first down. I don't think he's going to have it on this one. Is Kennard Lang. He's down at the bottom of the stack along with 45 Twan Russell.
Ron, you talked about the practice format this week. Tuesday they had to go inside a gymnasium, so you don't really get a lot of work done inside a gymnasium. You get a lot of your thought process out and walkthroughs and so forth, but it's been a very difficult week for Miami with this hurricane in the neighborhood, but more than that, I think the Florida State game will play on them.
Third down, you can see just how much they need to pick up the first. And he'll go straight ahead with Crandall, and from where that linesman is coming in across the way, he is going to have it. Russell is at the bottom of the pile.
Marcus Crandall does it all at quarterback. In 1993, he fractured his left ankle. He's the type of quarterback that can get, as his offensive coordinator Doug Martin said, he's going to bust out against somebody, and hopefully it'll be tonight. But he said he's capable of just having a record-setting night. Very strong arm. Receivers think they can hear the ball coming. It's so fast.
First down. As we are inside a minute to play, first period. Harley again. Breaks it to the outside. Caught by Burgess with the back of the jersey. And he'll take him down at the 40.
Miami tackle by James Burgess.
That could be that last play of the first quarter.
Second down and 7 on the 40.
Steve Logan told his football team, and you don't hear this said by head coaches many times. The last thing he said to him, I don't care if you win or lose. I just want to make sure you play hard. I just want to see what's in your hearts. And he should be pleased with this first 15 minutes. That's the end of the first quarter.
State Farm presents Rules of the Game.
Today we're talking about fumbles. In this play, the ball is recovered in the end zone by the defense. Do we have a touchdown?
There are lots of reasons to buy life insurance. Here are two great ones. I'm State Farm Agent Mike Foley. As the Goff family has grown, so have their life insurance needs. That's why we get together for family insurance checkups. I make sure to explain all the options, then they decide on the plan that's right for them. Ask your State Farm agent for a family insurance checkup. It's a great way to learn about life.
We're talking about touchback. In this play, the defense recovered the ball in the end zone before it broke the plane of the goal line. Ruling, touchback, no touchdown.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
George is driving to one of those other auto parts stores whose prices are a little higher than those at Western Auto or Parts America. Good thing he took the right vehicle. Western Auto and Parts America. Serious parts, serious savings. At Western Auto and Parts America, you'll always find the best selection of quality name brands for guaranteed low prices.
Like Prestone Antifreeze. Get all-weather protectant at our everyday unbeatable low prices.
Western Auto and Parts America. Serious parts, serious savings.
3 out of 4 new car radiators are made of aluminum, thin, lightweight, and under tremendous stress. This year, over 400,000 aluminum radiators will hit, corrode, and fail. Protect your car in the Prestone Zone. Prestone Antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming the Prestone Zone of dual protection against corrosion and temperature extremes. Don't put your car at risk. Protect it in the Prestone Zone.
In the game of politics, choosing a candidate can be a difficult move. That's because candidates make lots of promises. Promises, promises, promises. So, who will you choose? Her. Good choice, because she has an ice-cold Miller Lite, which makes only one promise: great taste. Join the party. Choose Miller Lite. Life is good. And when you vote, life is really good.
End of the first quarter, ECU on top of Miami, 7-6. And the first quarter numbers, 77 yards for East Carolina, 119 for Miami. You see time of possession, first downs. And in case you missed it, Ryan Clement out of the ball game with an injured shoulder, and he was perfect. That's 7 of 7.
Ron, East Carolina has the type of team that would give a Miami trouble because they've got so much speed of their own. They're a skilled type team like a Miami team. Their wide receivers can run. The only place I think they have a mismatch for Miami is Miami's receivers against East Carolina's DBs.
Pressure from the backside. Crandall going to take off. Burgess after him, and he will go down. But the guy who forced him out of the pocket is number 90, Kenny Holmes. He got away from Sudduth.
It's nearly impossible to sack Marcus Crandall because he's such a good athlete. He feels Kenny Holmes coming behind him, just takes off, and now he becomes a running back. Picks up a few yards, but he's difficult to get to because they like to move him around. He's got good feet, able to get out of that pocket.
Well, there's Sudduth right there. Actually, I miscalled it. Jamie Gray, 59, was the one that Holmes was working against that time. Third down. They need just over 2. Harley right at the middle. He's got it. Tries to make the cut and pick up a couple of more. Ball is loose.
Took it right out of his hands.
Sure did at the 31-yard line. And Fortney has recovered, the junior out of Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. And I think it was Tremaine Mack who knocked it out.
He just ripped it right out, Ron. He just grabbed the football as he was going by. Your running backs, you want to make sure they're covering the point of that football, and they got it tucked away. But Tremaine Mack, you just see, he just pulls it right out of Scott Harley's hands for the fumble.
So Tremaine Mack, not only a specialist when it comes to blocking kicks, proves that he has a specialty on defense. Theft, that is.
Let's see now if they try to get Daniel Ferguson back in this ball game to try to give a little help to Scott Covington.
Play action, going to go on top on first down. Looking for Green, and about a yard too far. Suggs is the man who is covered.
That's your matchup that you like. Teal Green's going to be very difficult for Kelvin Suggs to handle in this ball game. On the other side, Forrest Foster is going to have a tough time with Chambers and Benton. Chambers has already caught a touchdown pass.
looked as though Collins jumped across.
This is a crew, as I said before, of Conference USA. An entire crew of that East Carolina will join that league. And that's the officiating group.
False start, the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, on November the 1st, ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, puts a whole new spin on sports news. We're proud to announce the launch of ESPN News, television's most comprehensive news service. Up-to-the-minute reports and all the breaking news from the world of sports on one single channel 24 hours a day. Call your local cable operator or satellite provider for ESPN News. Debuting November the 1st. Ferguson finds an opening. 30, 35, almost got loose. Hart will grab him. That's Darren Hart. And he'll take it out to the 37-yard line.
Good draw play there, trying to get the defensive lineman up the field. Danielle Ferguson showing a little burst on that play. Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, coached at Oklahoma State, said that Danielle Ferguson reminds him a lot of Thurman Thomas.
You look at Harley on the sideline, who after you do something like he just had happen to him with the fumble, you want to get back out there and show that you're worthy. Covington pumped it once. Flag is down, and he's going to be hit. Ball is loose, recovered by Miami at the line of scrimmage. It's Collins holding on to it. Mercier was right there to make the recovery. He had a concussion last week against Florida State. Coaches said they made sure he was checked over and was set to go for this week's ball game, and everything's fine. Well, on the sideline, number 16 is back out of the locker room. Ryan Clement throwing the football.
Legal motion on the offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Another penalty for Miami. Again, hurting themselves with penalties, Ron, just making a lot of mistakes.
Crossland back to punt. Jason Nichols in a single safety for East Carolina. 7-6. East Carolina leads. About to go into 13 minutes left in this first half. The left footer, not a particularly good kick, but he gets a Miami bounce. And no return by East Carolina. That's going to go out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So 42 yards on the kick. Will we see him? It would appear so.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It just might give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around. Don't let a new truck payment stretch you to the limit. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease.
80 yards. By the way, he recorded a career high 392 yards on the game. So the reason tonight that these guys right here in Miami had better beware, they are very capable. Earlier this year, they were in Morgantown, went for 2 points, failed, but had an opportunity to upset West Virginia.
They take a lot of pride in the giant killer theme.
Quick pass. Gets it out to Galloway. Galloway comes out of bounds close to the 28. Burgess is outside.
That's the strength of a Marcus Crandall. He's got such a strong arm. He can get it out to the wide receivers quickly. Mitchell Galloway. Then the wide receivers of East Carolina are like Miami's. They've got so much speed that you can't miss a tackle on them.
And they line him up in the backfield, adding pressure to a linebacker, too.
Speed. That's exactly right. You get that matchup.
This time, the one-back set with Harley. He gets the handoff, left side. And he'll fight his way for almost 7 yards. Earl Little holding on to him, number 4, the senior out of North Miami.
Ron, I'm going to repeat it again because it just does not look to me like Miami is the type of Miami team that we've seen over the years. They're just, again, the after effects of the Florida State game still on them. Kennard Lang, Kenny Holmes, we haven't even mentioned their names, but maybe one time so far. So they're just really out of sync.
Takes it to Harley this time. Steps up into the pocket, and oh my goodness, he had him open and way overthrown. Galloway was the guy he wanted, but you can see Marcus Wimberly is there trying to cover.
I like the play calling by East Carolina because they're keeping Kenny Holmes and Kennard Lang, those two outstanding defensive ends, off balance. They have not been a factor yet. Steve Logan, Doug Martin, the offensive coordinator, doing a nice job of keeping them off balance.
2nd down and 10. We'll keep an eye on Holmes this time. Almost jumping offside and then gets back. Here they come with the linebacker blitz, and Harley runs right by him. Cuts it to the outside, has the first down, plus 5, 10, and 13 more. Harley had 44 yards already in the ball game, and that run right there is going to put his total at very close to 75 in the night. That was a 24-yard run.
Last week, Warrick Dunn broke away for 80-some yards against Miami. It was the first time they gave up a run over 23 yards. Scott Harley, power running back, working down the field against Miami. Again, that's the lackadaisical kind of approach that they're taking right now. I don't know that they want to do it that way, but that's the way they're playing.
Good protection. Flag is down, and good coverage there. As Chappell just got ushered out of bounds by Earl Little.
You just don't see a lot of big plays against Miami's defense because of the speed. They close everything so quickly.
In fact, when that happened at last week's ball game, I was thinking how long it had been that anybody had had a run of that distance from scrimmage against Miami.
Long time. Maybe it hadn't happened.
Kennard Lang back in the ball game, the junior out of Orlando. It's going to be a procedure call against East Carolina.
Illegal motion in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So East Carolina with a mistake on this drive. Just over 12 to play. They lead 7-6. What a day it's been in college football. We'll have our scoreboard show for you coming up at the halftime, talking about the upsets and the near upset in Tempe. But Arizona State pulled it out, the number 4 team in the nation. Harley in the grasp of Kennard Lang. And let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Yes, Ron, there were 2 overtime games involving top 25 teams. Here's the first one. Notre Dame's Ron Paulus gets sacked, fumbles the ball. Air Force runs it down. Dallas Thompson had to kick the winning field goal twice. Once because of a delay of game penalty. That one counted. Air Force wins at South Bend. Couple that with Arizona State in 2 OTs, beating USC by 13.
Okay, Mike.
That's a big win for Air Force. Fisher DeBerry to go in there and win with an undersized football team. Wishbone attack.
Harley bounces it back outside. And he's going to take this thing for a gain of almost 7 yards. He's been outstanding. One other note, Fisher DeBerry is just one of the best, one of the really good guys in college football.
He really is. And when you go in with a wishbone, and Notre Dame only had, I believe, 3 or 4 days to prepare for that, very difficult when you're facing that kind of an attack. Scott Harley just bouncing to the outside. He just runs over James Burgess, number 54.
And he's going to go down, Mike. Caught a headgear in the midsection. And as you can see, he's going to be up and okay. Look at the numbers on him. Already 80 yards. And I mentioned we had a nice shot of him on the bench a minute ago. We were talking about when you fumble, you want to come back in and prove that you're worthy, that you know, that happened, but you want to get away from that mistake. He's running more possessed now since the fumble.
He's worthy. Yeah, he really is. He is off to a good night, and that should open Marcus Crandall in the play-action passing game.
Defensive front of Miami, and they know they've got to get more pressure on Crandall. Either force him up into the pocket or make him move around a little bit. ECU 2 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. They need 3. Crandall Right up in the middle, caught by his tight end Richards, and he'll have the ECU first down. Kennard Lang puts the stop on it.
Just a Y option play where the tight end goes down the football field 8 to 10 yards, and he hooks either away from the linebacker to the inside or to the outside. Scott Richards is going to work up the field and hook inside. You see away from the linebacker. The linebacker kind of ran into the umpire. He was shielded so he couldn't get to Scott Richards.
Matt showing blitz on the play, as well as Russell. Possibly inaudible. Throws the fade to Shannon, incomplete.
Everything's been quick the first half, throwing the ball. That's out of respect for Kennard Lang and Kenny Holmes. They don't want to give them a lot of time to get a big play and rush Marcus Crandall and cause a fumble. So a lot of quick calling pass plays, 3-step, drop, throw the football.
The 7-step drops against these kind of guys are not good.
And it really drives at Kenny Holmes and Kennard Lang a little while because they can't get in on the play. They can't, all of a sudden they get to the quarterback and the ball's gone.
See Lang moving around a bit. Play action. And for the end zone again. That's a nice job by Earl Little against Larry Shannon. Kellen, let's check in with you quickly.
Ron, we were isolating the left tackle as he was having to block Holmes, a great defensive end. He does a pretty good job on these last couple of plays, but on this pass play, he does a good job by kicking himself out, not stepping up towards Holmes, closing the angles so Holmes can get around him. A very good job on that one. He pretty much shut him out for most of the game.
Jamie Gray is a senior, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, number 59.
You think Scott Richards be a big part of this play.
Third down, and the line to make is the 16. Miami shows blitz. They stay at home as Harley gets the carry. Ball is loose. Let's see if they call it a fumble. They say he was down.
Well, it's going to upset this Miami sideline a little bit more.
Kennard Lang was the guy who made the hit.
Good hit by Kennard Lang.
Holcomb to attempt the field goal. This ball will go down at the 35. 45-yard attempt. Good pass. Kick is on its way, and he hit the left upright. Oh, my goodness. No good. So let's take a break. Field goal, no good. Pirates still lead by 1.
In a Saab 900 Turbo, you could feel an exhilaration polite society would frown on. You could act on impulses committees would vote down. And when they tell you to zig, you could zag. Turbo Rush. Only in the Saab 900 Turbo. Find your own road, Saab.
Honda invented the ATV, and in over 25 years, no one has taken the idea farther. Now, with the purchase of a Fortrax 300 or 300 4x4, get a Magellan GPS satellite navigator. So no matter where on Earth you go, we can help bring you back. And with any new Honda Fortrax, get one of the best deals on Earth. No down payment and 13.5% APR financing.
Undefeated West Virginia gets it on with the Canes. Miami, West Virginia, Saturday primetime, next week at 7 on ESPN.
Through its $1 million scholarship program, Burger King donates $100,000 per week in the name of scholar athletes whose achievements go beyond the field in all NCAA divisions. Tonight, students of the game from East Carolina, linebacker B.J. Crane. He's a communications major with a 2.7 GPA. And from Miami, linebacker Tony Coley. He's a pre-physical therapy major with a 3.0 GPA. Well, Mike, look who is back in at quarterback as Harley is on the sideline. Ryan Clement has had his shoulder worked on in the locker room and is back out in the field. Those were his numbers before the injury. 7 of 7, 96 yards, and a touchdown. That's his first incompletion. And now here comes a flag, so erase that.
That's got to be interference.
Yatil Green is who he wanted. See if Suggs is going to be flagged for the interference.
Thought he hit him before the ball was there.
Pass interference on the defense. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
.9:19 left in his first half. East Carolina 7 and Miami 6. Miami missed their extra point attempt. It's Daphnis in motion to the top of your screen. And McMillan, the ball carrier.
Well, nice job defensively. Lorenzo West. Ron, he came under the block and made that play. He was signed by East Carolina just 10 days. They got on him 10 days before the national signing date. A lot of people didn't know about him. He went into became the MVP of the Pennsylvania All-Star game. A lot of people tried to come back on him just before national signing day, but East Carolina got him.
Outstanding play there as he knocks down McMillan for no gain. Incomplete. And Mike Tirico, let's go back to you. What do you have for us?
Ron, one of the still undefeateds, Alabama, at home against Ole Miss. Just a 10-0 game, but Freddie Kitchens hits Michael Vaughn, who explodes through the secondary. 60 yards for his second touchdown of the game. On the deuce, Alabama up 17.
So the folks in Tuscaloosa getting excited tonight. 17 first-half points is a lot for Gene Stallings' team.
And they've got a date here pretty soon with the Volunteers and Peyton Manning.
Should be an interesting gathering. Casey Jones out of the football. It is third down. And to keep this drive going, they need the 44-yard line. Clement drills his pass just a little bit high. Wanted Tony Gator. That was Tabari Wallace, number 28, with the cover. And Crossland will have to come in and punt it away.
Tabari Wallace on good coverage against Tony Gator. Ball a little high. Let's see if he should have had that. He stretched out pretty good for it. A little high. Tabari Wallace again with good coverage.
There's a look at Crossland from behind. He's a left footer. And Nichols back at a single safety for East Carolina. And they got the return on. This is an end-over-end kick. Makes the fair catch at the 34. So it's a 31-yard kick, and we'll take a break. 7-6 East Carolina.
Focus group members, how can we give this new sports network that Fox attitude?
Call it the Ram Sports Network.
More full frontal sports.
Yeah, Daddy. Oh, yeah.
Who does your hair?
I mean, real Fox attitude.
I'd like to see Patrick Roy let his guard down.
Home team's Fox attitude. Starting November 1st, Prime Sports becomes Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
I'm using a yellow humpy on 4X tippet.
If we can get by Creek, we'll take the 5A crown.
Don't call. He was in the creeks.
He got the whole shot on me, but I blew by him through the tracks.
The Denver Post is the official newspaper of the Fan because we speak every fan's language.
I took it to the glass, and I gave that guy a facial.
Call 832-3232. Buy 6 months, get 6 months free. Easier to hold, easier to read. Every day by 6 a.m. The Denver Post. More of a newspaper.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL, you not only get 9 big matchups, but 1 big highlight show, complete with Berman and Jackson. Get all the great plays. All the players, Dion, Cordell, Cortez. Praise fans, too. Get owners, coaches, the entire NFL, jam-packed with catchphrases. It's ESPN Sunday Night NFL.
Hi, how you doing?
Well, a nice job by this group, the defense of East Carolina, as they have held the Miami Hurricanes to only 1 touchdown. But now Clement is back, and we'll see if he can get a hot hand again. He was 7 of 7 for 96 yards before he injured his shoulder. He just had to punt it back, and we'll see if offensively Miami can get back on track. Marcus Crandall's turn right now, though. Harley to the left side, and he's going to be wrapped up. Nice job by Chad Pegues, number 94. You know, Mike, the last time that East Carolina had the football, they did a good job. 11 plays, 53 yards, almost 3.5 minutes, but they came away with no score because of the missed field goal.
Came away empty. Chad Pegues, another good play by the defensive tackles. You know, when you think of Miami, you think of Jerome Brown, Cortez Kennedy, Russell Maryland, and these tackles are good, but they're not in that league. They gave so much push when you played them in the past.
Yeah.
Up the middle.
See Crandall reverse out, gets it away to Richards, his tight end, and to the 41-yard line, he'll take it. You know, Steve had some interesting numbers talking about, he said the tight end is the favorite receiver in his offense and is going to average every year 52 to 55 receptions. He said, you can go back and look. Well, Edwards last week had 5 catches, Richards, I should say, in the second half, had 6 for the ball game. So they like the tight end.
He's a former quarterback. He came in there, he's got good size. They told him he could play early as a tight end. He's 6'5", and he moved the position.
DeBrew in motion, and again a play action, and they move the pocket, and there's the guy we're just talking about, Scott Richards, the tight end. He's a senior out of North Augusta, Georgia.
The other thing you look at when you look at a tight end is ability to work against a linebacker. He's going to come across the field. Scott Richards, number 90. Marcus Crandall rolling out to the left, throwing the ball just before he got hit. Scott Richards open against the backer.
Harley. You see 54, Burgess is the man who grabbed him first, and also Pegues is down at the bottom of the pile.
I think a lot of people had questions tonight whether the offensive line of East Carolina could hold up against this defensive front of Miami, and so far this first half they've done an excellent job.
Yep, they have. I'll tell you, that doesn't look good right there. Kennard Lang looked as though he was favoring his left shoulder or arm, one of the two. We'll get a report. Galloway in motion. Pass right over the middle is caught by Galloway for the East Carolina first down. And let's check in once again with Mike Tirico. Mike.
Ron, in the Big 12, Kansas State, Texas A&M. We know the Aggies play well at home, but this is a down Aggie team, and Kansas State proving their 5-1 is legit. Andre Anderson gets a toe-in touchdown. K-State leading A&M by 17. K-State on the road, big score.
Mike, that is a strange thing. I thought A&M was going to be a good club this time, but they have really had their problems. Back here at the Orange Bowl, they have called that an incompletion on that pass. They said he didn't have control of the ball. On third down, Crandall gets it away, and it is caught by Harley, and he'll take it for the first down.
Talk about vision of a quarterback. Again, I said he's elusive, tough to get to him to sack him. Always moving up in the pocket. Marcus Crandall found Scott Harley out of the backfield. A key first down. That shows you his arm strength too, Ron. Going down and able to flick that wrist and get that ball to the sideline to Scott Harley.
Blitz coming from the middle. East Carolina picks it up. Crandall's pass. You're going to have Earl Little all over his back, and pass interference is called.
Good play fake again by Marcus Crandall. Marcus Crandall's having an excellent first half for East Carolina. Making plays for his offense. Now they're going to check whether that ball was catchable or not. Probably the discussion they're having.
You see Butch signaling that it was too tall.
On the offense, pass interference on the defense. The foul's all set. First down.
Getting a little sloppy.
5:35 remaining until halftime. East Carolina leading by 1, 7-6. And Miami knowing that they got to close the door right here because this Pirates group wanting to come in here and show they can pull the upset.
Well, Miami's had a tough time stopping Scott Harley in the running game, and Scott Richards as far as a pass receiver working against linebackers.
Crandall drills it complete. That's Shannon at the 10. It'll be first and goal. East Carolina at the 3-yard line. Twan Russell finally run him down.
Larry Shannon is from Florida. He went to a small Class A high school here. And when you look at recruiting, Ron, East Carolina won the recruiting battle on Larry Shannon with West Virginia Tech. They were trying to get him to go in basketball. But he came to school here, and he's turned into an excellent receiver with good speed, and he's 6'6".
29 yards on the pass play. Harley tries to bang it in. He may have one, but that's it. That's Twan Russell who got it.
Worried look on those Miami coaches. They know their ball club is not playing to the level that they expect.
And conversely, East Carolina is not only playing as well as they can, they're playing awfully well.
And Ron, they went into West Virginia. You mentioned a 10-9 ball game. They beat South Carolina pretty good in Columbia. So I mean, it's a good football team capable of beating this team.
You see the goal line offense, play action, and Crandall looking, doesn't have anybody. Now he does, and it's overthrown. Kellen, let's check in with you.
Well, Ron and Mike, before the game, we talked about the fact that Coach Steve Logan was going to let his offensive and defensive coordinators coach tonight. He is doing that. He's standing all the way down here away from the action, watching the ball game. It's a gut check. He's got to be very happy with the response of his team right now.
You can bet one thing, with that headset on, he's doing a little coaching.
Richards, the tight end, lined up at the fullback slot this time again. It is 3rd and goal. They don't want 3 here. They want a 7. Pass is there. Touchdown. That's Galloway. Tremaine Mack down pounding the turf here at the Orange Bowl as his ball club has just fallen behind by 7 points. And Holcomb tries to make it an 8-point game. Holcomb, a senior out of Smyrna, Georgia. Knocks it home. So the question is, the theme of the day in college football has been some of the mighty have fallen. Miami heavily favored in this one, and right now they are down by 8, 14-6.
Little quick slant to Galloway. Wide open, just got inside of Tremaine Mack. And Ron, I'll tell you what Butch Davis is thinking about right now is 4:37. He's got to jump start this sideline.
And you know, the best thing that could happen is like Magic Benton on a special teams play to get them going once again. Let's go down to you, Kellen. What do you have for us?
Well, Ron, Mike just made the comment about Miami's sideline. Looking, I'm on the East Carolina side right now looking across. You would think that the University of Miami Hurricanes were in another ball game doing something else. There is no reaction to anything that's taking place on the field. The coaches are walking around, look a little bit stunned. The players act like they're not even here.
Well, they may be in another ball game, Kellen. It's the Florida State game. They're still thinking about that ball game, but Butch Davis knows how to get them out of this trance. He needs to, his coaches need to challenge this football team on the sideline and make them aware. They know they're in a football game, but sometimes you just can't get it going. And you need a big play, like Ron said, out of special teams or Yatil Green or somebody, Chambers, to make a big play as a wide receiver, or Ferguson.
Here's Rivers' kickoff. And here's the man I was talking about, Magic Benton. And Magic slowed down, and as a result, he got run completely over. Well, there's more college football on ABC Sports next week with regional coverage beginning at 3 Eastern. Number 20, Virginia against Florida State, Ohio State at Iowa, or Washington at Oregon, or Texas at number 9, Colorado. Next Saturday, regional coverage on ABC. Tonight, Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Kellen Winslow coming to you from the Drive, believe it or not, Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Lily has gone. The hurricane wreaked some havoc, but at least it made a big right turn and missed the southern tip of Florida.
Lily's gone, but the Pirates are here.
Ferguson almost loses the ball. He's going to have 4.5. Darden put a stop on him. Also Semenza. Maybe the hurricane blew some Pirates ashore, and it's right now they're looting and pillaging.
Miami's a big play type team. They're not a team. I don't believe they're a team against what East Carolina's doing on defense, that they can take the ball consistently for 80 yards. They need big chunks, big plays.
Under 4 minutes left until halftime. Going on top, and it is intercepted by Suggs. Yatil Green mistimed his jump, but the ball may have been even overthrown over him.
Yeah, he mistimed it totally. He jumped about 2 feet in front of the football. Kelvin Suggs just sitting back there, and ever since the injury with Ryan Clement, he has not thrown the ball as well as he was throwing before he got hurt. Yatil Green coming on the outside release, getting pushed out of bounds by Darren Hart. Now he mistimes his jump, and the ball is intercepted by Kelvin Suggs, and good field position by East Carolina. Now they want to turn it with 3:37 on the clock and go down and get some points.
Clement was 7 of 7 before the injury. He is 0 of 3 and 1 interception since he has returned. And the last thing that Butch Davis wants right now is to give up more points to this East Carolina team before they go in at halftime. Harley to the left side, hit by 90 Kenny Holmes, and he'll be driven back. Going to have a couple, but that's it.
Both Miami and East Carolina have their full complement of timeouts.
Now this is where guys like this have got to step up. Kenny Holmes knows that with that turnover, they can't give up another touchdown. Kennard, who is a junior out of Orlando, same situation. Big play guys who got to make big plays. Crandall just threw that one away, and the flag is down as Shannon.
That ball was not
out of bounds. Nope.
That should be waved off.
And that's the signal he's giving, Mike, that it was not catchable.
Earl Little, pretty good coverage, but he did bump Larry Shannon out of bounds. And Larry Shannon 6'6", so Steve Logan saying he might have been able to catch it.
Pass is ruled uncatchable.
So it's 3rd down. Pirates need about 8 yards to keep this drive going. They roll the pocket. Crandall on top, and he throws it an acre, and the receiver had only run about 3/4 of an acre. So they were in the same zip code, but that's all.
Good coverage by Miami in the secondary. Kenny Holmes, first of all, trying to get to the quarterback. That's Kennard Lang being blocked. On the other side, you got a little stunt coming on with Kenny Holmes. But the offensive line of East Carolina up to the task.
Mike, this is the first punt by East Carolina tonight at the 2:50 mark in the first half. Good high spiral. Fair catch is signal for and made by Magic Benton. And Mike Tirico, let's go back to you.
Brian, just a reminder, coming up on our halftime report, we'll check out the wild day in college football, including the Pac-10 and the great overtime game in the desert. Notre Dame also taking overtime, implications in their game against Air Force for the postseason, and Northwestern's magic. Somehow, some way, they seem to find a way. We'll show you the most current coming up at halftime.
Okay, Mike, Purple Power is right. I thought that one was over. So did a few million other people, I think. The defense of Miami talks it over on the sideline. They did their job. Now can the offense get something going with 2:47 to play? Danielle Ferguson hit in the backfield. Carlos Brown got to him, and then Darden helped out on the stop, and some scattering boos here.
Well, ever since the first drive that Miami had, that they went down and scored the touchdown, they had a lot of success on first down. But East Carolina now, since that score, Paul Jett, the defensive coordinator, they have owned first down. Miami's been in second and long, third and long, all the first half after that first scoring drive.
Well, that was a good stop there by Carlos Brown. Look at this, Amos Zaraway. They shut him down. Deuce Staley. They shut him down, the great running back from South Carolina, so they're capable of closing the door on it. Clement out to Ferguson. Hit from behind, just short of the 20 by Corbett.
East Carolina's going to take a timeout. Now they know if they stop them, they're going to get good field position.
East Carolina calls timeout.
So we're going to take the break with it. 1:45 remaining until halftime. We'll be right back.
Third down, 5.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me.
Your turn, man.
When you've got the great taste of an ice cold Miller Lite, life is good.
I think she digs you. Really?
No. Beyond the sea, somewhere.
All right, gentlemen. Tomorrow, your butts are mine. Lights out.
Man, I'm hungry.
Russell Athletic Wear is made to handle the toughest situations on and off the field.
Hot dog. French fries. Hamburger. Tacos. Tacos grande. Pizza. Coach? Going somewhere, ladies.
Hard work.
Dedication. Commitment.
Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Get up there, Lord Bud. Go, go.
Can you believe what's possible these days? Travel arrangements right from your own computer. Instant stock quotes. All the things you find only on the world's most popular internet online service, now more affordable than ever. It's like living in the future. The future, now available on America Online.
14-6, East Carolina leading over Miami. Don't forget, coming up next on the GMAC halftime report, Air Force and Notre Dame. Little overtime action. The same with SC and Arizona State. And Northwestern and Wisconsin. Some wildness there late in the ball game. Marcus Crandall, an outstanding first half for him.
He wants another shot, Ron. It's 1:45 on the clock. They can stop him here. He'll get another shot.
Third down to Miami, needs about 5 yards. Pass is caught by Davis, and he breaks the tackle. All the way out to the 36. B.J. Crane stops him, but that'll move the chains because it's a gain of 18.
And now Miami's got to get in the 2-minute mode now, the 2-minute offense, because they still have 3 timeouts. They're going to take a timeout right here, even though the clock was stopped with the first down.
Miami hoping that maybe this could be that spark. They could get it down the field and get points. They still have 2 timeouts left, as does East Carolina.
East Carolina's been able to do a job on Yatil Green and Magic Benton. They've kind of kept them quiet here in the first half. And you just figure it's just a matter of time till they break loose because the matchup's in Miami's favor on the outside.
There's Marcus right there. His numbers just over 50%, 121 yards, and a touchdown. And the thing that has really kept Miami's defense just off balance enough, the short drops and quick throws, as Mike said, plus the fact he is mobile enough, whether they play action or not, he can just get out of harm's way enough.
And the other thing to add to it, Harley has had a good first half. They've ran the ball against Miami successfully.
Yep, they have run it successfully.
And the special teams mistakes of Miami has dug a little bit of a hole.
Well, they've got an opportunity now. They've got 97 seconds. Pass knocked away. That's a nice defensive job by Tabari Wallace. He kind of threw into double coverage on that one.
Looks like that they're doubling the outside receivers, so you figure something has to be open down the inside of the field. Jermaine Chambers is going to work against the corner, and also the safety is going to come over the top. Kelvin Suggs, so good coverage, 2 deep coverage. Probably not wise for Ryan Clement to try to get that ball in there.
Suggs wanted a second interception. The fact if it hadn't been knocked away by Wallace, I think he would have had it. Yep. 7 interceptions, including the one tonight for East Carolina on their defense this year. Draw play to Ferguson. Going to be a gain of about 8 yards. Carlos Brown wrapped him up. K.C. Jones with a nice job of blocking up front.
K.C. Jones is the leader of this offense. Doing a pretty good job there.
Working against Corbett.
With that left hand on the shoulder there, Mercier. It's usually called, but it wasn't called on that play.
So we got 1:21 showing on the clock. 3rd down and about 2 yards for the first down.
Dennis Erickson, who was the head coach here before Butch Davis took over, said that K.C. Jones is the best center he's ever coached.
You talk to any of their coaches and they just light up with excitement to talk about it.
High intensity guy.
Does this show respect? 1995, he was first team All Big East. He only played in 1 game because of the knee injury.
He must have played lights out in that game.
Yeah, that's what the other folks thought of him, though. You know, another interesting number in tonight's ball game, Mike. Miami always has big plays in the ball game. They've got 2 plays of over 15 yards tonight. That's it.
And that's surprising because you really feel like that they're capable at any time of breaking something in the secondary. But I think it's going to have to be the inside receiver a little bit more against the safety, against the linebackers.
A lot of pressure, and he's going to be sacked by Coleman.
Well, he just ran by Jay Ina, number 61.
2 sacks now for East Carolina. And Clement is very slow in getting up. It's his left shoulder that he injured.
You're going to trade timeouts now, East Carolina. But Jay Ina, number 61, just couldn't block. Collins just right around the outside. Now East Carolina is going to get this football back, Ron, and still have 1 timeout with 1:10 to go.
Well, you could see Hart was coming. Darren Hart was coming on a blitz. They picked him up and flipped him. But it was Coleman who came through to get the sack, so they call the timeout to stop the clock. It is 4th down with 1:10 showing on the clock.
Well, what you have to do if you're Butch Davis and it's halftime, he's got to get the attention of this football team. They've got to come out with a different attitude in this second half. Because they're in a dogfight right here. They've got to come on. Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator.
ESPN2 has the best college football. It's the Big Ten doubleheader. 12:30, the Wisconsin Badgers take on Michigan State. And then at 7 o'clock, Michigan heads to Minnesota to take on the Golden Gophers. All next week on ESPN2. They're coming after him. Crossland gets it away. Nichols runs away from it, and it's going to cost him very close to 15 more yards. It's a 48-yard punt.
Miami punt.
So they got 59 seconds to work with.
Take me out.
So let's see if Holmes and Lang and company can stop this opportunity for East Carolina. Running play, there'll be nothing. Burgess steps right up into the hole to make the tackle.
Good tackle by James Burgess. He's a leader at the linebacker position. Just stepped up against that one back. Scott Harley made the tackle. Played a little bit behind Ray Lewis at the middle linebacker last year. Got a little experience at the position.
He's from just south of here, down in Homestead. Going to take it for a gain of 5 to the 25-yard line. And some folks at home may be saying, well, hey, they had 57 seconds, but he didn't want to take any chances, I think, Mike, and give an easy one to Miami.
And they get the ball in the second half, so they take it in the locker room, talk about the first drive, second half.
Well, that's the end of the first half with our score. East Carolina 14, Miami 6. Now let's join Mike Tirico for the GMAC halftime report. Mike.
Well, Ron. Miami, which of course lost its last game in the Orange Bowl to Florida State. You wonder, when's the last time they lost back-to-back games? Well, Kirk and Lee, you go back to 1984, the Frank Reich 31-point comeback with Maryland, then the Doug Flutie game, and they lost their first game in '85 in the Orange Bowl to Florida.
They got Virginia Tech next. Yeah, a little flat tonight.
Something to think about as the second half is ahead. Coming up now on the GMAC halftime report, tons of scores and highlights. A wild day in college football. We'll recap it all for you, let you know why the things that happened. At the break, East Carolina surprising the Canes by 8. Don't touch your remote.
Every morning, millions of twin blade razors raise their ugly heads. But now, there's the Norelco Reflex Action Razor. A great shave with less irritation than blades.
Computers and
attached.
Connie Kramer, Connie from New Jersey, this is your...
Jet, the defensive coordinator for East Carolina, has to be absolutely ecstatic. Look at that number, the second one on the right. Only 36 yards rushing, and I think that's a key as far as that passing game is not going to open up a great deal until they start being able to run the ball.
No, and I'm sure Butch Davis has challenged his football team the second half to come out and play because they're going to have to raise their level.
So, in fact, we're going to check in with Kellen Winslow after the kick. He was down in the East Carolina locker room, and we'll find out exactly what the conversations were there to the Pirate Ball Club.
Ron, there's some report, someone just said that Covington will be the quarterback in the second half, that Clement's done.
Well, they have just handed me a note, and that's what it says. Clement is done for the ball game.
He didn't play well coming back after that injury.
Unbelievable before he got hurt. Madsen looking for a spot to run, and they're going to start off in the hole. He will not make the 15-yard line. Kellen Winslow, what went on at halftime in the East Carolina locker room?
Well, Ron, Coach Steve Logan, staying true to form, called his players up tightly together, said, I want to look in your eyes. He reminded the seniors that 2 years ago, they were in a similar situation down in Auburn. They were leading at halftime. Auburn came back in the second half, raised the level of play. He challenged them to raise their level of play for 30 minutes and take this ball game back.
Okay, Kellen. Further report on Clement. Partial left shoulder separation. That's the reason he's done for the game. Crandall, running play. And Twan Russell will make the stop out around the 20-yard line.
Marcus Crandall, you see his numbers first half, but the key number is he hasn't made any mistakes as the quarterback. Hasn't thrown into coverage, hasn't turned the ball over. His pass chart, look at the success he's had up to 15 yards. The intermediate throws to move the chains and to keep the drives alive. Marcus Crandall has made the key passes.
Second down, they need about 3. Chappell in motion. They're going to throw on second down. A ride over the middle is tight end Richard. And Richards will take it out to the 35-yard line, and the first down. Twan Russell has to make the tackle.
Scott Richards just ran a delay route. Looked like he was going to block. They ran the fullback through. Here he is right here. He's going to block, and then he's going to release over the middle. Just watch the fake here. Scott Richards blocks, sets up. Now the linebacker picks the back out of the backfield. Here's a little delay to Scott Richards. First down, Twan Russell on the tackle.
Folks, that's already 5 catches for him, and we said that Steve said the tight end is his favorite receiver. You can get him free easier. Harley will take it straight ahead. That's Fortney holding on to him. Gain of 3. And I guess the other big key as far as East Carolina is concerned is that man, number 44. Because Harley, it has been reported, has an injury to his ribs. They really can't afford to have him go to the bench.
No, he had an excellent first half running the football, blocking in the pass game. Gained 93 yards, had a long run of 24 in the first half.
Crandall swings it out. Incomplete as Galloway was single covered by Earl Little, and it was just a little low.
Scott Richards, Ron, has been the receiver at the tight end position that has made the catches that have been the key catches for this East Carolina team. We showed the pass chart. All throws inside. Here's a little naked pass where he comes outside, makes a catch. He adjusted the football very well. Has good soft hands.
Well,
to the crossing route.
Mike, you mentioned he's a former quarterback, and he does. He's got nice soft hands. Third down. Line to make the 45. There's pressure on the quarterback by Miami. He gets away and throws it complete to the man we're just talking about, Richards.
Well, they took the football away from him. Let's see if they call it down or what here. They're going to put it down.
Official says the ball was down. It is just across midfield at the 48.
The frustrating thing, if you're Miami, Kenny Holmes working up the field, number 90, you're going to see him go inside on the stunt. But he makes pressure, puts pressure, but Marcus Crandall steps up. There's no one around Scott Richards. There's another one of those 12-yard passes. Then the late fumble, but they gave the ball, continue to keep it to East Carolina.
Denny Fortney also with good pressure on that last play, number 99. Harley has 5, has 8, 9, and now let's call it 10. On first down, a 10-yard run, and we're hearing boos here in the Orange Bowl.
Boy, how soon they forget. They've had a great home record here, but this defense right now is being picked apart by East Carolina. They're just knocking them off the ball. James Burgess, the middle linebacker who has to make that play, just was really blocked out by Danny Moore. And when your safeties start making plays like they're making for Miami, you're in trouble.
Danny Moore, the center, only a sophomore out of Grifton, North Carolina. You're right, that was an outstanding block. Galloway running the ball, and he gets clipped from behind, just enough of a piece of him. He was about to reverse the field. He might still be running.
Well, playing with ribs, sore ribs, Harley's back into the ball game, 114 yards, averaging over 4 yards a carry. And Ron, I'll tell you, we talked about it earlier. When you play Florida State, your rival that you get up for so big the week before and lose, and you got West Virginia next week who's undefeated at Morgantown, sometimes you just can't get their attention for the focus for East Carolina.
Well, they better be dialing it in quickly because they're down 14-6. And this East Carolina group is looking for more. Not going to have the first down. Harley will be about a yard short. Twan Russell again defensively.
Burgess, ready to put the stop.
See the grimace on his face. They're probably, with exception of a lower back injury, there's probably nothing more debilitating or just really hurts anymore than having bruised ribs. And that's what he's got. You're so exposed as a running back. Third down. About a yard is what they need. 7 of 11 on third down situation. Play action, and he tripped over his running back and goes down just beyond the 35-yard line. I think it was Harley. He got his feet tangled up with him.
Yeah, Ron, that's the worst thing that could have happened to East Carolina because Marcus Crandall's going to come out on the outside with a run-pass possibility and probably pick up the first down, but never got the opportunity to get to the corner, just tripped.
So Holcomb's going to try a distance field goal. This is going to be 52 yards. His longest is 47. And you remember back in the first half, he hit the left upright.
They need a big play out of Tremaine Mack, number 3, right here to block this kick.
He's their specialist. Good pass. Ball is down, and he's got the distance. Does he have the accuracy? Yes. From 52 yards. Timeout on the field. The Pirates have stolen another one. 17-6.
Take a stroll down memory lane at the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You crushed my knee. Was your toes? You broke my ribs.
It was your nose.
Ah, yes. I remember it well. You sacked me once.
I sacked you twice.
In pouring rain.
No, it was nice.
Ah, yes.
But when you go, don't forget your Visa card, because the Hall takes the NFL's best, but not American Express.
See ya, Nitschke.
It's Butkus.
Oh, yeah.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Tender grilled chicken, fresh lettuce and tomato, a bakery soft roll. McDonald's new grilled chicken deluxe is loaded with the stuff grown-ups love, inspiring a truly adult emotion, lust.
Ooh, baby.
It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
Over the past 13 years, no other import manufacturer has sold as many sport utility vehicles as American Isuzu Motors. But hey, why stop at 13? Right now you can lease a 96 Trooper or Rodeo for some of the lowest prices of the year during the Isuzu Big Deal Clearance Event.
By Isuzu, equipment for real life. Well, that offensive unit of East Carolina getting a break on the sideline. They're now up by 11 points, 17-6. And this gentleman right here, Chad Holcomb, it is a new career long for him. The longest had been 47 yards, and that one just now was 52. And he just kind of gliding right now, and you can understand why. Brantley Rivers kicks it off, and this is going to come down to Jones at the 7. And he's taken down at the 27-yard line.
Scott Covington coming into the ball game as the quarterback. Miami on their first drive really controlled first down. They averaged 16 yards their first possession. After that possession, they have been stuffed on first down, averaging only 1.9 the rest of the drive. So first down has to be a key for Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, to get some yards there so that you put some pressure on this East Carolina defense.
I think there is a marker down at the 40-yard line, which is being discussed right now. East Carolina has not brought their defense up to the line as yet.
Dead ball, personal foul, 15-yard face mask foul on the kicking team. First down.
You know, so that's the reason East Carolina had not moved up. And this one right here now puts Covington and Miami in excellent field position to start this drive at the 42.
Ron, they've got weapons. They've got Ferguson as a running back. They've got wide receivers. that can make some plays, and Scott Covington has to be the guy. He's got to turn the key on in this automobile and get it going.
You saw Ryan Clement on the sideline. He is out of uniform. Colbert makes the stop on Danielle Ferguson.
Carries.
Good first down there. Picked up about 5 yards. So now they're back to where they're in pretty good shape on second down with a runner pass option now. Anytime you can get 4+ on first down, now that just makes it a little bit easier for your quarterback.
As we mentioned back in the first half, Miami's very deep at tailback. You might wonder if Butch might not even experiment with, again, with McMillan, who carried once in the first half, or either Trent Jones, who has the outstanding speed. Pass thrown complete. That's Jermaine Chambers, who has a touchdown pass in tonight's ball game, and he's hit by Forrest.
That's what gaining over 4 yards on first down gives you, that kind of option, because now the defense can't sit there on second and long and third and long, play heavy coverage on your blitz. Scott Covington needs to step it up, Ron. We talked about how as a second quarterback, he doesn't get a lot of reps in practice. He's got to do a lot of mental work. Watching those tapes, watching the first team guy work, knowing that if his opportunity presents itself, he's got to be ready to play.
Daphnis checking into the lineup, also number 40, Carlo Joseph, the sophomore out of Gainesville. That's Carlo, number 40. Scott Covington, only a sophomore, 6'2", 206. Laguna Niguel, California. Short pass, and the man we're just talking about, Carlo Joseph. So, Mike, they bring him a safe pass, a safe situation. He throws the completion. They're going to have close to 5 yards in the play.
I think in the first half, maybe they did go deep a little bit too much. Now they're trying to open it up a little bit, trying to take the football and march it down the field. Not make some mistakes, not get any penalties, and get this pushed in the end zone.
Mike, number 18, has just come in the ball game. Mandrell Fulcher. This is a very talented young guy. He's a tight end. Came in as a wide receiver. He's 6'3", 231. And they think he's going to be an awfully good one. Blocking on this play as Ferguson gets the handle. And he will be at the 40, 2 yards short. Carlos Brown defensively.
So what they did, bringing in Mandrell Fulcher at tight end, now they go to 2 tight ends because they're going to try to get the ball in Danielle Ferguson's hands. Here you see the 2 tight ends, which now means you get a helmet on a helmet with those 7 defensive players, the defensive line linebackers. Carlos Brown made the tackle, sets up this 3rd and 2.
Clement on that sideline and trying to help with the offense.
Well, this sometimes happens when you get the second team quarterback in. Didn't get the signal quick enough.
So Miami has to use one of their timeouts, and we'll take the break with them. 7:42 remaining, 3rd period.
Pick up the new rodeo for the lowest price of the year during the Isuzu Big Deal Clearance Event going on now. Oh yeah, mud sold separately.
Today I set out to fix my car.
Thanks, neighbor.
Whatever. I had to stop at 4 different places.
Push. Push.
Good thing I live in a friendly town.
Push.
One of us pushes, the other one pops the clutch.
Come on, push, push. I am pushing.
Finally, I went to Pep Boys.
Hey, everybody, I fixed it.
I love this town.
Car or truck, Pep Boys has your starter or alternator. 26,000 items at the guaranteed low price, tires and service too. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
In an age of streamlining and downsizing, Chili's still makes its Big Mouth burgers by hand, one at a time, by a person. What this lacks in efficiency is more than made up for in taste. Chili's Big Mouth burgers, monuments of inefficiency.
Play football at Chili's this season. In every restaurant, you can win 2 round-trip tickets on Southwest Airlines to anywhere they fly, a football or Chili's Big Mouth burgers, all just for playing.
Michigan hopes to keep the Little Brown Jug safely in Ann Arbor when they battle Minnesota. Next Saturday at 7, only on ESPN2.
1, 2,
17-6. East Carolina surprising Miami right now. We're at the midpoint of this third quarter. And for Miami, Mike, you made an interesting observation during the timeout. It's 3rd and 2, and you said this would be 4-down territory for you. You wouldn't give the ball back to him.
I'm going to take 2 shots, Des, but they've got both tight ends in the ball game, so you expect Danielle Ferguson.
That's who it's going to be. Goes right side, puts the head down, and he'll have the first. Nick Williams with the block. We'll catch NFL Countdown tomorrow as Boomer and the boys start your day off just right. See how Jimmy Johnson has turned Terrell Buckley into a new player. And how can the Atlanta Falcons turn their fortunes around? Plus the best news and information on NFL Countdown tomorrow at 11:30 a.m.
They're going to stay with this 2 tight end set. Now, Ron, what this gives you is a running game. It also gives you good play-action passing game.
It's Daphnis in motion. Ferguson, they try him to the open side. Look at that block by Carlo Joseph. He really took the outside guy out and run close to the 30.
Now Paul Jett, the defensive coordinator, has to find an answer now. In other words, Teal Green and Magic Benton are going to be on the sidelines, at least one of those. Now it's going to become a tough running football game, so your defense now has to match up, and you got to play a little bit different scheme-wise to try to set this thing down. Let's shut this down a little bit.
Little chess match going on.
Now they come in with 2 wide receivers.
Chambers in motion, and they swing the pass out to Ferguson. Nice move. He's going to pick up an extra 4 yards after the little juke that he made. Tackled at the 25. It's good for the Miami first down. B.J. Kane puts it into it.
The only difference between that and a sweep play where you turn around and pitch it to the tailback is you just throw it to him outside. So it's just like a running play to Danielle Ferguson. Get out and pick up the first down. Get him outside in space. You see the defensive player fall down. Foster, you know, when you get your tailback out there, it's tough to bring him down.
If Foster had help, Ferguson caused him to fall down. This time from the eye, you see the lead block. Ferguson's going down after a gain of 1, and it's B.J. Crane again.
Carlo Joseph really made that block on the outside. Now what Paul Jett is trying to do is bring pressure from the outside against this Miami offense, figuring they're going to run the football outside, trying to bring that pressure from that outside.
And this time, Miami again on first down, Mike. They get nothing, so they got a 2nd down and 10 situation. They go with 2 wide receivers. Chambers to the bottom of your screen and the Teal Green to the top. Here comes the blitz up the middle. They pick it up. The pass is incomplete. Nice job by Foster at the last moment to knock it away.
Good defense. I thought that was going to be a completed ball. It was thrown well, thrown on time by Covington to Chambers. Forrest Foster's going to get right in here. Good coverage. Watch number 37. Watch him break on the ball. That's the key. Coming out of your back pedal, break on the ball, getting the right hand to punch the ball out. Up Chambers so he can't get the reception.
Third down. Line to make is the 15 of East Carolina. East Carolina shows blitz, and here they come. And wow, they pick it up. Pass is incomplete to Teal Green. They're looking for a flag, but there will be none. And Mike, the point to make is that's 2 passes that are catchable where the receiver actually could have helped by coming back to the football.
Coming back to the football, but good coverage, Ron. You can't take anything away from the coverage. Tabari Wallace, number 28, in his back pedal. He snaps it off. Good play. That's the way you want the corner to come up and make that play. And because of the field goal problems that Miami's had tonight, I think they're going to go for it on 4th down.
They are. 4th down, 10 yards to pick up the first. Miami trailing 17-6. We have 5:26 to play third quarter. East Carolina show blitz, and they stay at home. Covington over the middle, got a man, and knocked away at the last moment by Suggs.
Heading down the middle, Chris Jones. Scott Covington maybe just a little bit more on the ball. Kelvin Suggs came out of nowhere to deflect that Trying to get the tight end down the middle. Chris Jones against two deep. He's open, but the ball just takes a little bit too long to get it there. Kelvin Suggs coming off that corner safety spot, knocked that ball away from Chris Jones.
You see, he had to slow down. In fact, he was going to come back for the ball because it was underthrown as he was open. Harley, right up the middle, spins for 3, maybe 4 yards. Wimberly catches him by the ankle. Suggs being stretched out on the sideline.
He stretched pretty good to knock that ball away from Chris Jones.
KC Jones on the other side take on a little oxygen. Actually, a very comfortable evening here in Miami tonight. Not quite as humid as it has been.
A little hot in that Miami sideline.
Harley. Tony Coley trips him up.
Next time, baby, we gotta get the fucking sucks, man. Let's go.
KC Jones trying to give an inspirational speech on the sideline.
Well, let's see if the defensive ends can cause some pressure this time in the 3rd down and 4. East Carolina needs the 35-yard line. Crandall gonna run it. And dives for the first down, and he'll have it just across the 35. Kevin, let's check in with you.
Well, Ron and Mike, we just saw Crandall pick up that first down. You know, he's in very good company because a quarterback in the NFL right now played here, Jeff Blake. But Crandall's gone up and broken all of Jeff Blake's records up to this point. You know, touchdowns, total yards. And Coach told us last night that he thinks that Crandall may be a step faster than Blake and may have a stronger arm.
Well, he is something to handle, I can tell you. Does a lot of things extremely well, Kellen, you're right. They fake the counter, he's going to be sacked. And there's Kennard Lang. First sack by Miami tonight.
And really, it was a play where it was going to be a bootleg to Kennard Lang's spot, but he just got up the field too hard. It's very difficult to run that play to his side. Now he's working upfield. There's a block by Linwood DeBrew, number 20, but DeBrew's only 175, trying to block the 255 Lang. Just come off the ball. He just got great explosion to set that play down.
Yeah, DeBrew had problems with him in the first half. As you look at the numbers, now 1 sack. Those are the other numbers for the defensive ends for Miami.
They need a turnover, what Miami defensively needs.
Nothing for Harley. Little and Fortney, and a flag comes down at the 30-yard line. You know, this could be right here. It could take the defense to be the spark as holding is called against East Carolina. And quickly, let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike, what do you have for us?
We're on with Southern Cal and Stanford losing today. This could be a night that Washington finds itself as the only team with 1 loss in the Pac-10 if Cal wins at Washington State. Well, Brock Huard in mop-up duty, 34 yards to Fred Coleman, set up a 1-yard touchdown. Washington big over UCLA.
Our situation, if you've just joined us, East Carolina 17-6 over Miami. And right now, there's a little spark. The crowd is getting back into it, and it's coming from the Miami defense. Here's the screen. Harley gets a block, loses the football. Miami recovers at the 32-yard line. Twice that Harley has fumbled tonight.
That's what they needed, though, Ron. The defense needed to make a turnover and to get this ball game in touch a little bit more. Again, the same thing that happened earlier. Scott Harley not grabbing the point of that ball and tucking it away. James Burgess reached out, knocked that ball away, and now Miami has great field position and a great opportunity to get back in this football game.
2 turnovers now for the Pirates, both fumbles by Harley.
And a safe play. Good, safe call by Doug Martin, the offensive coordinator. Picked up good yardage. They could punt the ball out, but the fumble gives Miami great opportunity.
Wide open pass incomplete. Chris C. Jones, the man that he was looking for, and he threw it behind him. Coming up later in the game, we'll be selecting the Visa Players of the Game, so stay tuned for that. 2:24 left in the third. Pirates of East Carolina up by 11, but they've just put it on the ground and given Miami a wonderful opportunity. We'll see if the Hurricanes can take advantage of it.
Rania, Teal Green has been shut down in this ball game. It doubled him a lot out here.
Remember, he had 2 very early on, and that's it. Ferguson, there's nowhere to go. He's going to lose a couple of yards. Coleman, the first man through.
See the 8-man front of East Carolina, and there's just no place. Roderick Coleman, number 57, slow developing play. East Carolina able to get up the field. Nowhere for Ferguson to go.
3rd down and 12. The line to make is the 22 of East Carolina. See the stunt up the middle. The pass is intercepted by East Carolina. It's Darren Hart, and he'll take it out of bounds at the near sideline. And Paul Jett's defense just closed the door on the Miami Hurricanes.
Well, he gave him a blitz, Ron, and then had good man coverage.
So there's a timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. The Pirates trying to pull the upset in Miami.
The trucks stop here. The Gilpin Hotel Casino is giving away a truck a week. Every week for 10 weeks, the Gilpin is giving away a new truck. Come to the Gilpin any Sunday, and you could drive away in a new Ford Ranger, courtesy of Phil Long Ford. The trucks stop here is brought to you by Phil Long Ford and the Gilpin Hotel Casino.
Nobody sells more used cars than Burt. Why? Because Burt sells more new cars than any other dealership. Additional trade-ins are added to our inventory daily, so we are continuously updating our selection. In fact, Burt offers more used cars than off-site events and even stadium sales, and we offer them to you every day. Visit Burt Ford on Arapahoe Road, Burt Chevrolet Geo, Burt Subaru Kia, Burt Nissan, and Burt Toyota on Broadway. For the best used car selection, there's nobody but Burt.
Not that great. I mean, a 24-hour sports news network. Yeah, sure. Scores, highlights, breaking news. Who cares? Big deal. People act like this is the second coming or something. People say, are you going to be on ESPN News? Nope. No way. Apparently, I don't fit into their little schedule. I need a new agent.
17-6 East Carolina. Michael, show us what happened.
Well, good pressure defense. Now, this is Darren Hart. He's a defensive back that they moved to linebacker in this long yardage situation. Scott Covington's going to get the blitz coming, trying to get the tight end across the middle, threw it right to Darren Hart, the defensive back, sitting in that middle linebacker spot. Good pressure. Darren Hart right where he expected that ball to be thrown. To Gerald Daphnis, picked it off. Now it's up to East Carolina's offense.
So from the 45-yard line, Harley, Burgess hits him at the line of scrimmage, and he will be dropped for no gain. Kellen Winslow, what do you have for us?
Ron and Mike, just before the interception, Coach Logan called the offense together. He challenged him to move the ball down the field and to score. Then he turned to Scott Harley eye to eye and said, don't show pain. Don't let them see weakness. Don't show pain.
Well, he is playing hurt. We know that. One of the other hurts tonight, besides his ribs, are 2 fumbles. Drills the pass, complete. Galloway gets blistered after he makes the reception, but that is the first down, and Wimberly is the guy who came up and put the wood on it.
Well, Marcus Crandall took a hit after that throw also, but delivered that ball right on time to Mitchell Galloway. Looked like James Burgess may have jumped the crossing route. And that's what opened Galloway, number 82. Here's the pressure and the hit from Kenny Holmes on Marcus Crandall. Just gets it away.
Lawson comes across thinking that maybe Lamont Burns had moved before the snap, which of course there was none.
East Carolina had 9 days to prepare for this Miami football team after that Southern Miss loss.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Lawson was right. There was movement to the offensive line.
First down,
That tells the story right there. 17-6, the Pirates on top. But they would love nothing more than to get points out of the turnover and also to stop by the defense just a moment ago. On the other side of the field, Casey Jones knows that their clock is not going to be an ally much longer. And now Crandall says, "Just call a timeout. I don't like what I see." ESPN2 has the best in college football. It's a Big Ten doubleheader. 12:30, Wisconsin will battle the Michigan State Spartans. And then at 7 o'clock, the Michigan Wolverines head to Minnesota to do battle with the Golden Gophers. The doubleheader next week on The Deuce. Well, it's been an upset Saturday. We all know that. And this man, Butch Davis, does not want to be part of the statistics of the fallen today. They're big favorites in the ball game, and right now they're down by 11 points. And Butch Davis knows full well that this East Carolina ball club very capable. Last year, East Carolina is down by 3 touchdowns at the Carrier Dome and come back and score 3 touchdowns and win against Syracuse. This year, they are an opportunity to win against West Virginia at Morgantown and missed a 2-point conversion.
And they're trying to win in a place that's been very difficult for a lot of teams as you look at that record. 71-3 here at the Orange Bowl. So Florida, Washington, and Florida State trying to add their name to that group.
First and 15. Crandall's pass is caught at the 35. That's Jason Nichols, number 1. And that's going to be the final play of this third quarter. Down to 3, down to 2. So let's take a timeout as we head to the final 15 minutes. East Carolina 17-6.
Introducing McDonald's Deluxe Sandwiches. They're new, they're big, with fresh toppings and a bakery soft roll. The average adult has over 8,000 taste buds. Get ready to use them all. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
Honda invented the ATV, and in over 25 years, no one has taken the idea farther. Now, with the purchase of a Fortrax 300 or 300 4x4, get a Magellan GPS satellite navigator. So no matter where on Earth you go, we can help bring you back. And with any new Honda Fortrax, get one of the best deals on Earth. No down payment and 13.5% APR financing.
I'm not crazy about this artificial turf. Looks like shag carpeting. Got no give. No big deal. After all, this is America, and we play football no matter what. Blizzards, floods, tropical storms, I've seen it all. And let me tell you this. If a meteorite hit the Earth tomorrow, you just wait for the darn thing to cool off, draw a field in the ashes, run it in for 6 points, and spike it to the end zone. Ow!
Over the past 13 years, no other import manufacturer has sold as many sport utility vehicles as American Isuzu Motors. But hey, why stop at 13? Right now you can lease a 96 Trooper or Rodeo for some of the lowest prices of the year during the Isuzu Big Deal Clearance Event. The rugged, dependable, go-anywhere Isuzus.
George is driving to one of those other auto parts stores whose prices are a little higher than those at Western Auto or Parts America. Good thing he took the right vehicle. Western Auto and Parts America. Serious parts, serious savings. At Western Auto and Parts America, you'll always find the best selection of quality name brands for guaranteed low prices.
Like Prestone Antifreeze. Get all-weather protectants at our everyday unbeatable low prices.
Western Auto and Parts America. Serious parts, serious savings.
McDonald's new Crispy Chicken Deluxe. With an all-white meat breast filet, fresh lettuce, and tomato on a bakery soft roll. It's a grown-up reminder that you're never too old to drool. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
K.C. Jones, I mean, a warrior, and he knows what his offense is going to have to do in the second half. Now, the defense stepped up the last time they were on the field. They even forced a turnover, but then the offense couldn't get it done as East Carolina came up with the interception. So it's up to Kenny Holmes, Kennard Lang and company to get it done again.
So down right here that they can go for the long ball if they want to, unless they want to pick up the first down, second and short.
Richards, the tight end, moves into the fullback position. They use him to block, and it's Harley who is not going to have the first down. They run him out of bounds. Kellen Winslow, let's check in with you.
Ron and Mike, in the fourth quarter, East Carolina has owned the fourth quarter. 47-0 in the fourth quarter. They scored 47. They've not given up a point in the fourth quarter. Coach Logan attributes that to conditioning. He uses a pro-style approach to the game. During the week, they use helmets and shoulder pads. Nothing as far as leg work is concerned. They don't do any hitting, live hitting. They do what they call squaring up. There's none of that stuff as far as hitting the ground. He detests when his players are on the ground during the week. But that's the good side. The bad side is he runs them after practice. He runs them and he runs them. He told us last night that he hopes that his players never find out what other schools do. Then they'll realize how difficult that they really do have it.
Well, most games, Ron, are won in the fourth quarter, so you've got to have a finely conditioned football team because it's going to pay a price in the fourth quarter for you.
Mike, let me correct myself. They spotted the ball. They gave him enough for the first down on the sideline over there. I thought he was short, but the official who was right there said nope, and East Carolina moves the chain. Wide open, Nichols for the touchdown.
Number 1, Jason Nichols is good for the Pirate touchdown. Player number 33.
Well, the East Carolina section of the stadium is going crazy, and the rest of the stadium, there are folks headed to the exits, if you can believe it. We are like 2 plays into the fourth period. And these folks here in Miami are a little upset with this football team. Extra point is good. 14:46 left in the ball game, and our new score, the Pirates of East Carolina, 24-6.
Australia's Great Barrier Reef. You don't need fins to swim under it. You don't need wings to fly over it. You don't need 4 legs to run through it. But you just might need to bring this. Because Reef Watch Air Tours, Wild Track Jeep Safaris, and Pro Sail Schooners will take you on the ride of your life. But they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Go ahead.
There are strange sounds coming from the house next door.
There's something wrong. Send someone quick. We are on our way, ma'am.
Let's move out. Go, go, go. We'll go again. It's in the basement.
What?
With its second sliding door, easy out-roller seats, and the most interior volume of any minivan, the Plymouth Grand Voyager is versatile enough to handle all your little bundles of energy.
coverage of Saturday Primetime is brought to you by Plymouth. One clever idea after another. That's Plymouth. Well, the defensive unit gathering over on the sidelines, and they know that they have dug a pretty deep hole because of this group right here from East Carolina. Nichols, the touchdown pass. And for Crandall now, he is 16 of 26, 211 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Well, Nichols looked like the first guy out to practice.
And no one picked him up down the middle.
Rivers to kick it off. And Bradley's kick will come down to the goal line. It's Tremaine Mack.
Good arm strength again by Marcus Crandall. Is going to get a flick of the wrist. Jason Nichols in motion. There's the fake to Harley. Now it opens up down the middle. Linebackers on Jason Nichols. Good pressure by Kenny Holmes. There's the fake. Pressure by Holmes. Good wrist action by Marcus Crandall, getting that touchdown pass off.
Crandall probably couldn't believe his eyes. He couldn't get the ball there quickly enough when he saw how wide open his receiver was.
You talk about eyes. Those are stunned eyes on the sideline in Miami.
Ferguson, as they try the sweep, has a blocker in front, gets it, turns the corner, and he'll be just shy of the 35. Forrest is there to make the stop. Well, as I gave you just a moment ago, Crandall, 16 of 26, 211, and 2 touchdowns.
Well, we talked about it, the practice, what happened to Miami this week with the hurricane warnings. They practiced inside one day. The second day, they hit the split practice because they only had 50 yards of turf field, so it's just been a tough week for them. And then coming off that Florida State game, they played unemotional.
Covington wants to get rid of it, and he's going to be hit by Semenza first, and also Lorenzo West. Well, on the net return, what you're looking at on that update, all the upsets today in college football. And the Miami Hurricanes are in a position to go in that same section. They were huge favorites in this ball game, and right now they're down 24-6. 4 of 10 on third down conversions for Miami tonight. Pressure, backside, never saw it. Fumble, and East Carolina, Lorenzo West is on the football. Darren Hart is the man who hit him from behind, and he never saw it.
Darren Hart's had a couple big plays. The interception, and then the blitz from the blind side on Scott Covington. Never saw him coming.
Third sack.
Good disguise in the secondary. There's 22, Darren Hart. No one to pick him out. The guard didn't come out in time, or the center, K.C. Jones, may have had to come out there. Didn't come out. Fumble recovery, East Carolina in great field position.
Loss of 13. East Carolina with the football at the Miami 22-yard line as Hart being congratulated on the sideline.
Congratulate Paul Jett, the defensive coordinator. Great plan here tonight.
Harley with the running play, and he'll go straight ahead for about 3 yards. Kenny Holmes is on him along with Coley.
Conference USA teams that admitted East Carolina in. That's good league for them now. Now they can play for league championship. Butch Davis again on the sideline. He knows he still has time, but he needs a stop right here by his defense.
Blitz, got his man open. Galloway gets by the defender. He'll take it in for the touchdown. Mitchell Galloway.
And how many times have you seen this many big plays against the Miami defense? Missed tackles, but that's the speed of Mitchell Galloway. He makes you miss.
To 6. Extra point attempt to come. Malcolm with the extra point, and he's good. So we'll take a timeout. 12 in the booth then on this side of the stadium. They have just gone home. Kickoff to the 10. Tremaine Mack, and he'll take it out of the 31-yard line. Well, coming up, the Residence Inn College Football Scoreboard. That's immediately following our telecast. And that group right there is from North Carolina. I can tell you, they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay here and enjoy every second of this. Their football team up 31-6 over Miami. Steve Logan, he's not going to show you, not for a long time, his feeling, but he's got to be very proud. Covington's pass, got it to his tight end, that's Daphnis. Knocked out of bounds. Kellen Winslow, let's go back to you for a report.
Ron and Mike, we've talked about Coach Logan all night, but he's played up under some coached up under some very good coaches. Jimmy Johnson, when he was at Oklahoma State, he said that he learned from Jimmy Johnson enthusiasm. From John Cooper at Tulsa, he said he learned how to be a head coach. At Bill McCartney at Colorado, he said he learned the valuable art of recruiting, especially in the 90s. You got to recruit. And from Bill Lewis at East Carolina, he said he learned about detail, the most minute detail Bill Lewis would take care of.
Well, as we told you off the top of the telecast, he challenged his team. He thought they played horribly against Southern Mississippi. There is a great catch by Jermaine Chambers. Covington rifles that one, and he gets it complete.
That was a great catch, Ron. Jermaine Chambers had to lay out to catch that football.
Here comes the blitz by East Carolina. They pick it up right over the middle. Throws it again, this time to Fulcher, who is a tight end. Darren Hart wraps him up.
And Darren Hart's had an excellent football game.
Yep, they talked about heart to heart, the two safeties, David and Darren, and they really are the heart of this defense, so to speak.
They've been playing together defensively since Pop Warner ball.
That's McMillan. Breaks it inside the 40, and he's down to the 37. B.J. Crane, along with Darren Hart, combining on the stop.
Still a lot of time, Ron. 11:33. A lot of people have left, but Miami offense, if they could turn this in quick, they could still get back in this football game. It's possible.
Caught right over the middle. Again, it's Fulcher. Loses the football. Was the play dead? No. East Carolina football.
Darren Hart again. A lot of mistakes tonight. Lack of concentration.
B.J. Crane makes the recovery after Hart made the hit.
The fumble was recovered by B.J. Crane.
But Darren Hart, he has played one of those games, Ron, where he's been around the football all night, made the big plays when he had to make them. Well, he has given Paul Jett's defense a big night.
Take it out across the 35. Rod Mack, freshman out of Miami, is the man who puts the stop on him. Darren Hart. The coaches talked last night about can't believe what all these guys bring to the table every time they play, both David and Darren, but we have been witness tonight to what they can do. Clock about to go under 10 minutes left in the ball game. East Carolina 4 takeaways, 14 points off those turnovers tonight. Harley again. You can see 97. Michael Lawson grabbed him by the arm and spun him around.
Well, Darren Hart, Ron, you've talked about him. Here's what he's done tonight. Sitting in a linebacker position, big interception, stopped the Miami drive. Came on us. A blitz from the outside caused a sack, caused a fumble, gave East Carolina's offense another chance here. He strips the ball away. He has been a force on defense. He's been like Marcus Crandall. And don't forget Scott Harley on offense.
Yeah.
Because Scott Harley's played with a lot of injury tonight. Those three have really stepped it up.
Counter tray. Harley hit behind the line. 96. Bernard Lang stops him. Kellen Winslow, back to you.
Ron and Mike, just continuing on that Hart story. By the way, I think this is our 4th or 5th game with twins. And of course, in Georgia, we had triplets, the Luckies. But the Harts have played very hard. We talked to them last night. They've been together since Pop Warner football. They came to East Carolina because they could come here together. Another school wanted David to go someplace else, and Darren was going to go to East Carolina, but they both decided to come here. And I know Coach Logan is glad they did.
This is only the 2nd punt by East Carolina tonight. And if you just come in and turned on this football game and you think that that score up in the left corner maybe is wrong, you're wrong. East Carolina 31-6. Magic Benton let that one get over his head, and it is touched dead at the 8-yard line. That is a 59-yard punt. Let's take a break. Back with more from the Orange Bowl after this. 8:57 left in our ball game. 31-6. It is East Carolina leading over the Miami Hurricanes.
It gets tougher for Miami next week. We go in and face Don Nalen's football team in West Virginia.
So the highest ranked team that East Carolina had beaten before tonight was Syracuse when they were number 15. That was in 1991. Big opening out to the 25-yard line. And that's McMillan. Butch Davis tries a little change as far as his running back.
And East Carolina defensively will give them those runs right now. Get that clock moving and become a factor.
That's the longest play since back in the opening drive. McMillan again tripped up as he goes out of bounds at the 33.
Talk about practice formats now. Miami, they hit on Tuesday and Wednesday. They have a lot of contacts, and I can imagine how practice is going to be this week as they try to prepare for West Virginia.
And Mike, the most difficult thing here is with the injury to Clement. You know, is he going to be ready to play? Obviously, you got to get Covington a lot of snaps this week.
He'll get all the snaps in practice this week.
Covington sets, throws, and hits Fulcher's tight end. And Fulcher will have the first down. Well, if the X Games weren't enough for you, here comes Destination Extreme, presented by Slim Jim. The X Games is on the road tour of the country. Step into the extreme scene Tuesday at 4 and 10 Eastern Time. Covington's pass is caught just across the 50. What are they going to say now at the 49? Tony Gator. Tony, formerly a running back, held on to that 22, but they've moved him to wide receiver because of a long line to tailback.
Yeah, he can't get in ahead of Danielle Ferguson or McMillan or Trent Jones, so he had to go out at the wide receiver position.
There's a flag down, and Covington is visiting with the officials.
Ineligible receiver downfield. How about those Gators again? 51 more Steve Spurrier put on the board. He does it as well as anybody in the country.
Yeah, that offense, when you look at the string, what is that, 7 games in a row that they've scored in their first possession? I can't ever remember anything like that, Mike.
He's an excellent teacher, has a good system, and they play hard.
So the 5-yard penalty for illegal downfield. It'll be first down and now 15.
You know, Ron, you go back to the first quarter when East Carolina kicked the field goal. Miami was offside. It's been downhill ever since that point. They took the 3 off the board. They made the field goal, took the penalty, and scored the touchdown, took the lead, and they haven't looked back from that point on.
Officials making sure that they've got the situation squared away here. So we're set to play again. 8:23 left in the ball game. Covington deep over the middle. Gator just beyond his fingertips.
I was going to say, when you talk about East Carolina, just think Southern Miss, how they feel tonight. They beat Georgia, and they beat East Carolina. And you talk about that league now where
second down.
New league with Louisville, Cincinnati, Houston. That's going to become a pretty good conference. UAB is going to eventually get in there. South Florida started football. Army's going to go in there, and they are undefeated. So pretty good league. That's going to, the Conference USA is going to turn into a nice conference.
Covington tries to set the screen right over the middle. Magic Benton, and he's covered up as soon as he caught it by Carlos Brown. And once again, Darren Hart is there.
We talked about Paul Jett, the defensive coordinator. This is going to be a big win for him tonight because he was an assistant here at Miami. He and Butch Davis were together at Oklahoma State. An outstanding defensive coach. Just brought a nice game plan into this ball game tonight.
Swings it out to McMillan, breaks a tackle, has 5, 10, 12 more yards after he broke the tackle. Kevin Monroe finally put the stop on him.
They make you work up the field, though, Ron. They said early in the game that they couldn't give them a big play. They gave one. That's how they got their 6 points, but they haven't given them anything big the rest of the evening.
Covington's pass has it. Did he catch it in bounds? Yes. At the 37, it's Jermaine Chambers. Now what is happening? Covington, I know East Carolina's playing it a little bit softer than
warming up.
He's looking as though he is much more comfortable and is throwing the ball very well.
He's got a strong arm.
He's now 11 of 20 for 78 yards. McMillan spins off a tackle, cuts it back to the right, loses the football, scramble for it. East Carolina has recovered. Forrest, number 37, on the loose football. 5 Miami turnovers.
The fumble is recovered by 37. Forrest Foster.
You know, Mike, that's 3 possessions in a row that they've turned the football over.
When you get behind, you start to press a little bit. Players all of a sudden want to try to make plays, make things happen. Starting to make too many mistakes.
Now look at this story as far as the giveaways and takeaways.
96-18. Paul Jett has got a defense that attacks you the entire ball game. 92, they were ranked 105th in defense, and now they're ranked 19th coming into the night. So
Harley.
Great change for Steve Logan's defensive team.
Yeah, that's true. Little makes the tackle. You see Harley sliding down. He didn't want to go out of bounds to stop the clock. Kellen, let's check in with you again.
Ron, you just mentioned the fact that he stayed in bounds instead of running out of bounds. It's one thing that pro coaches do a better job of with college coaches is managing the clock. You can bet that Logan told his players on the sideline, if you get to the sideline, don't run out of bounds. Keep that clock moving.
You could see it was like, that's hot water out there. I'm not going into it. And as a result, the clock continues to run. We are under 6:40 to play in this ball game. Galloway in motion to the bottom of the screen. Harley will get the call. And on his back, 51, Rod Mack.
Scott Harley's had a great night.
He has, and he's doing it with bruised ribs, which is a heck of a performance. 130 yards. Is that 35 carries for Harley?
They talked about when he was a freshman, he got in all kind of fights on the field, and even in the spring, and they'd say he'd have 1 or 2 fights a week, but they said he always won the fights, and players nicknamed him Mike Tyson. But he has shown a toughness tonight.
Averaging 142 yards a ball game, and with that carry there, he's going to be very close. Harley, that's going to put him very close to 136 yards for the night. And he's shaken up a little bit. He's going to come off the field. It is 4th down, and he goes up because it's punting time, as Bays, who has just not had much work tonight, comes on to punt. Scott Harley, the man from Neptune, New Jersey.
Number 8. Magic Benton is deep.
Coming after him, end over end on the kick. Away from Magic Benton, he's going to take it at the 6. So let's take a break. 4:55 left in our ball game. What a game this guy has had. East Carolina 31-6. We got just under 5 minutes to play. Well, for the looks of the stadium right here, you'd think we just had been given a hurricane warning. Folks have gone home. They didn't want to stay and see the rest of this one. East Carolina folks have stayed in total. Covington's ball is caught. That's Gator again, number 22. Miami running their hurry up. Covington runs up into the pocket, hit just as he gets it away, and that one is short. And let's go down to Kellen Winslow. Kellen?
Ron, we talked about Steve Logan, the coach, so much tonight. Let's talk a minute about his family. Family to him is very important. His kids, Vincent and Nathaniel, go everywhere he goes on the road, and his wife joins them also. As a matter of fact, his kids hang out at the coach's office all the time. Coach told us last night that if he stops too fast, Nathaniel's going to run right into the back of him.
Okay. So they're having fun tonight because Dad's football team is about to beat the highest ranked team they've ever beaten, the number 12 ranked Miami Hurricanes, and they're doing it convincingly, 31-6, as Gator makes that catch and gets out of bounds. Just over 4 minutes to play. What's up next for Miami? Well, they got to go on the road, and we'll see them next Saturday night as they have to go to Morgantown, West Virginia to take on the unbeaten Mountaineers.
And a good football team, good defensive team. They're going to be up against another good defensive team next week in West Virginia. Plus a pretty good running back.
I started to say plus a pretty good running back. Is a guy by the name of Amos Zaraway. Deep over the middle, got him open at the 50. And then sandwiched is Magic Benton.
This East Carolina program really started. Bill Lewis had it going. There's been some pretty good coaches. Pat Dye's coached over there, and they've been very successful, this program.
Completion was 22 yards. First down for the game.
Well, some of the folks that came down from East Carolina looking on. It was a 22-yard completion. 4:09 left in the ball game. Pirates lead it 31-6. Draw play, and here's Trent Jones. He'll have a couple.
Trent Jones.
Kevin, let's go back to you.
Well, Ron, I just wanted to put a footnote on the point that Mike made about good coaches at East Carolina. Unfortunately, most of them have used it as a stepping stone to a bigger program. Steve Logan wants to stay at East Carolina, wants to see his kids finish high school there. It might be the effect of a 10-year contract, $1 million annuity if he stays that long.
Looks like Magic Benton came up limping after he made that cut. Well, with many more wins like this, I'm sure Steve can stay there just as long as he wants to.
And we got the other sideline where Butch Davis trying to keep this program at the level it's been. Everybody expects Miami always to be in the top 10 every year.
The difficult thing for Butch and his staff is a game like this at this time of year. You normally have got some of your top recruits in to watch you play, and it's difficult. They're not accustomed to this in this house anyway. Gator going to take it inside the 35, and he's down to the 33. Gunford makes the tackle on him, and it's good for 17 yards.
Well, Miami remaining schedule, we talked about next week, West Virginia, but they still have some tough ball games. You know, look at that, Virginia Tech will come in here. They got to go to Syracuse. Boston College won today. So still got a tough schedule for Miami, who's trying to get set up for a bowl game.
Trent Jones pushed out of bounds by McKeithen.
Covington, throws complete to Jones.
I'd say West Virginia pretty well driver's seat of this Big East right now because of schedule, but there's some teams still not out. Virginia Tech, Syracuse, and even the Miami Hurricanes can get back in that conference race. This is not a conference game, so it doesn't hurt them from that aspect of the schedule.
3:17 to play. Second down and 10. Covington running for his life. Yatil Green gets it to him, and that's enough for the first down. Forrest bumps him out.
Who do the East Carolina Pirates have left? They've got a pretty good schedule. Now, they've got to go to Virginia Tech also, but I'll tell you a game that's going to be interesting is that November 30th game in Charlotte, where they finally get a chance to play North Carolina State. They played them before in the bowl game. Used to play them, I think 86, 87, 88, right around there. They used to be on the schedule every year.
Probably the game that put this program on the map was against NC State in the Peach Bowl. Ball almost intercepted. Alfonso Collins broke up the pass. Back before we finish this ball game tonight, we'll show you a highlight or two. I remember distinctly 1992 and that bowl game down in Atlanta. It was some kind of comeback by East Carolina.
Well, a lot of people had them counted out in that game, and Bill Lewis' team just came back, fought back Jeff Blake, and won that thing.
Let's take a look at it. 1992, Jeff Blake, and he's going to bring them back from a 17-point deficit with under 9 minutes to play. They finished that season ranked number 9. Well, you have to wonder, Mike, after this game tonight, will they crack the top 25? Hard to say, but certainly in the coaches poll, you would think that some people would.
Well, they've beaten, you know, again, playing West Virginia close, coming into Miami to win, beating South Carolina. The loss to Southern Miss hurts.
So we got a timeout. We'll take it with them. 2:50. And it is third down, and Miami needs the 12-yard line. Mike, here's trivia for you. When's the last time that Miami lost back-to-back football games?
1930. No, I know. I would say probably. Let me think about that one for a little bit. Give me a little time.
Well, I just wrote it down. If you can't see.
No, I don't want to write. I don't want to cheat on the thing. No, go ahead and give it now.
Still third down.
1984, and it was the Doug Flutie, the Hail Mary play. Tonight it's Hail Marcus Crandall.
Marcus has had an excellent night. His offensive coordinator, Doug Martin, said he's going to break loose. He broke loose tonight.
Scouts have to really be intrigued with him, Mike. Because of where, you know, playing at a smaller school like East Carolina, he doesn't get the attention that a lot of people do, but he's shown you a lot of stuff in this ball game tonight. He's shown poise, the great arm, the quick release.
He's got mobility.
5-yard penalty.
So third down, the ball spotted now at the 26-yard line. Daphnis comes in and Fulcher comes to the bench.
What's up, baby?
Crandall, now it's okay to smile on that sideline because only 2:59 left in this ball game. Covington, pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Alfonso Collins again. Oh, coming up next, the Residence Inn College Football Scoreboard. Some of the things we'll talk about. Overtime thrillers today. The Miracle by Northwestern at Camp Randall. And Gator Bait. That and more on the Residence Inn College Football Scoreboard. Coming up immediately following our telecast. Covington swings it out to Jones. He's going to be wrapped up inbounds on fourth down, and I don't know if he got it or not. Close. Didn't get it. And here comes the offense for East Carolina on as Darren Hart, who has been one of the real stars in this ball game tonight, wrapped him up and stopped him short.
Game was 4 yards.
For all the good things that we've mentioned about that offense, the defense not only did their share, but at times even more. They just wouldn't let Miami get things going.
There was we talking about Uteal Green and Magic Benton being the big playmakers. 6 receptions, 81 yards. So they were able to keep the passes underneath and keep them inside of them, and never allowing Miami, except for the first score, the big play tonight.
And the amazing thing about it is, if you go back and look at that drive, Miami looked as though they were going to be invincible tonight. They just bam, 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 right down the field and scored. Well, tonight's Visa Players of the Game, we talked about the defense and the 5 turnovers. Darren Hart, 9 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception, and he also caused a fumble. And from Miami, Jermaine Chambers, he had 4 receptions, 1 touchdown. As a part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities on behalf of these athletes. 90 seconds left in this one. Crandall will go down and take a knee, and Miami will call the timeout to stop the clock with 1:27 showing. You know, Crandall said that he had not had as much fun. You're right. Line drive. Gator is back deep. And Gator's going to try to reverse this field again. It takes it to the East Carolina 45.
Watch Sports News, right?
Johnny may never sleep again.
No, he
You're
won't.
Right.
He won't even eat pizza.
Covington on top and almost intercepted by Forrest Foster.
He just threw that one after a loss, but there probably needs to be some changes. Need to be things maybe tinkered with in the offense and the defense.
Uteal Green knocked out of bounds, but he'll have the first down.
But the mistakes probably tonight that hurt him the most were the penalties, turnovers, and the kicking game. It just really hurt him.
You know, we talked in the first half that the special teams got off to an iffy start because they missed the extra point and they missed the field goal, and they gave up the long kick return
and jumped off sides. And East Carolina kicked the field goal, so they moved it closer, got a first down, and turned it into 7.
The special teams kind of stumbled out of the gates tonight and aided in what has happened to the Hurricanes this evening. Covington's pass, the receiver fell down, and it's intercepted. That's Tabari Wallace with the 6th Miami turnover on the night, but in the defense of Covington, when his receiver made the cut, he went down, and there was nobody there to catch it but Wallace.
Well, Steve Logan said he hadn't slept since the Southern Miss game.
Hurricanes. Crandall will take a knee, and we'll have to do it one more time, and that'll be the ball game.
The loss is 1.
repeating. You have to go back to 1984, the last time that Miami lost back-to-back football games. And that was the Hail Mary pass against Boston College. Just has not happened very many times at this school.
Ron, that Florida State game had to take a lot out of them.
Randall down the football. They loses 1 yard.
Coach Logan.
East Carolina.
Got it catering on the head. Yep. Well, this one is now official. Once again, a final score. East Carolina 31 to Miami 6. Ron Franklin from Mike Godfrey and Kellen Winslow saying this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now let's join Chris Fowler for the Residents in College Football Scoreboard. Chris.
Ron, thank you. The biggest